Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. If it is still Thursday for you guys, if it's Friday, well hey, good on you for being early to the party, I guess. Anyway, welcome to the stream everybody. My name's Nebulux, as I'm sure you guys already know, but figured I'd say it because yeah, that's what people do when they start streams. Yeah, today is the bedtime story reading stream. Woot woot! I usually do this every other Thursday, unless something comes up and where I would want to do something else on a Thursday instead. Yeah, we are working our way through, as you can see up there in the top corner, Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong. It is a Warframe story written by heartslogos, and you can find the link to that story in the description of the video. This is book number 5 of the I'd Rather Fall Among the Stars series, which is what the IRFATS in the video description title stands for. It's the series name. So yeah, we have read the first 4 books on stream previously, but this book is, it is episodic in nature, so you don't have to worry about missing out on the plot. The plot is completely character arcs and character-driven story, which makes it really cool. Like, the characters are just so well fleshed out. I love them. Okay, I can give a little bit of backstory. Oh, wait, before I do, before we start getting into... So actually, I don't think I have any news. This is the news segment of the stream / just chatting segment, but I don't think I have any. Oh, I do have news, but it's not gonna be till February, so I don't know. There's a collab coming up early February-ish. That's in how many weeks? How many weeks is February? February's next week. Wow. So in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks I have a collab scheduled. Yeah. There, you got a tidbit. Hey, Jesse OJ. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm just talking about news. Nothing too interesting going on right at the moment. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good time. Any fun things going on with you, I guess? That's a question people ask, yes? I don't know how to do small talk, you kidding me? I know how to react to stuff people say, but initiate conversation? What? Me? Nah, I can't do that. Anyway, I will give a brief overview of the characters, who I know Jesse OJ is already familiar with, but just for posterity, just for anybody who's coming in who's new, a brief rundown of the characters. So, we have our 2 main characters of this story. This is the Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong story. The first main character is Kore. These are all Tenno. In the Warframe universe. So if you guys are unfamiliar with the Warframe universe, you have questions about what terminology means, what's going on, feel free to ask and I will explain away because I like to think that I'm really familiar with the Warframe story. Yeah, so this is a Warframe story. Again, link can be found in the description. Kore. So yeah, Kore is a Tenno. She is usually very solitary, but thanks to Judge, he's kind of dragged her kicking and screaming into friendship with more people than just him. You're having Hot Pockets. Ooh, for dinner? Aren't those like a snacky lunch thing? For dinner. Huh, alright. Well, enjoy them Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets are delicious. On your own. It is item! You joke, but it is. I can't do it. But yes, hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, so yeah, she's really solitary. She likes being alone with the exception of Judge. She'll let Judge hang out with her. And then yeah, thanks to his bad influence, she now has more friends than just Judge. And in fact, she has met her, I guess, role model in the Empress. She's gotten to meet her thanks to having friends, so yay, character development. She has also recently opened up to Punk, who is another Tenno. She's gotten close enough to him that she was willing to give him her real name, which is a huge deal for her. She's, oh yeah, Kore, call sign Persephone. So people who are not Judge know her as Persephone. Kore is her Tenno name, her real name, not her Warframe name. So yeah, that is her. Then you have Judge, who is her partner. He is pretty much the personification of those conspiracy theorists, tin hat people. He's always investigating something. He's the world's greatest detective. Well, no, he is a detective who is always active, working on some problem or other that he's trying to figure out. How far are we into the book so far? We are on chapter 163. But again, these are episodic chapters, so there is no overarching plot other than character development. So the characters have come a long way since we first introduced them. For instance, Kore telling somebody other than Judge her real name. That's huge for her. It is a huge deal. And yeah, she has gotten close enough to Punk that she would be willing to tell him that. But yeah, we are nearing the end of the stream. Not the end of the stream. Alright, we've been live for 10 minutes. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. We're nearing the end of the book. We're on chapter 163 out of 186. So I don't think we're going to be able to finish it this stream, but I think next stream is the one. Da 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 da. But yeah, you got Judge, call sign Hades. Hades and Persephone. Judge and Kore. Fun fact, Kore is another term for Persephone. I think it's Greek for maiden or girl or something. And it was what she went by before she got married to Hades. And then yeah, Hades is the judge of the underworld. So their names are both on both levels. Their names are literally Hades and Persephone. It's pretty great. Yeah. He also suffers. So yeah, Kore doesn't like being touched. She doesn't like talking. She doesn't talk through anything other than a voice synthesizer with people who are not Judge. Versus Hades, he suffers from hallucinations and not knowing what is real and what is the dream. Like, the man in the wall will appear to him a lot because the man in the wall knows that he'll get a big reaction out of Judge, because Judge has a very hard time knowing if he is awake or not. And he's also claustrophobic. So yeah, just little small character traits. Hey, I'm glad that you think they're chill, because I usually go all out and like I'm like the opposite of chill. I can't chill. Like I hype out and my voice starts screaming at top volume and probably cracks or something. I don't know. So hey, I'm glad I can sort of achieve semi-chillness. Yeah, I first advertised these streams as ASMR streams. They're not ASMR streams. They're really not. But hey, I'm glad you like them. Alright, that's the main two characters, Hades and Persephone. And then you have your secondary characters, who are Punk and Sheik. So Punk, we'll start with him since I talked with him a little bit. Punk is a walking disaster. He is a Tenno. Punk, real name Jude. If you think that gets confusing with Judge, don't worry. Kore gets also confused by it. That's how they pretty much became friends in the first place, is because she mistook him for Judge. Like, the name. Like, she was scrolling through, like, active players, online players list or something, and they were right next to each other, and she clicked the wrong one, pretty much. But yeah, Jude, call sign Punk, is a pro athlete. He is a pro esports gamer. Not really. He's a Conclave player. I know. They exist out there. He's a Conclave player. He performs in Lunaro matches in Conclave. He has, like, you know, a bunch of sponsors and is basically somebody who's paid to look nice, and he's like somebody who has a very specialized set of skills, and if he's doing literally anything that is not sports, he is a hot mess, absolute garbage, and he can't really do normal missions, and he's just a walking disaster, and it is hilarious. He also has like 6 dogs who are all named Pug for some reason. I don't know why he would name them all Pug. I guess peak laziness. to be honest, I bet there are several Warframe. There's probably a couple hundred people out there who have named every single one of their Kubra the exact same things, so never mind, in retrospect that makes sense. But yeah, he's a flirt. He allegedly is handsome, but that's him saying that he's handsome, so can we really trust him? I don't know. Yeah, he also canonically does not have a southern accent, so yeah, that's on me. And then you have his partner, Sheik. Call sign Sheik, real name Joy. She's got hot pink hair, and she's the person who's invested all of their money in the stock market and crypto. She's a broker, pretty much. She's got... Whoa, my screen froze. Okay, we're back. It probably lagged, I don't know. But yeah, she's got money in investments, and one of those investments happens to be Punk. So she bets on him in the conclave, she sponsors him in the conclave, and makes bank off of him. She's like the one who's always running the index. Yeah, somebody forgot to pay Neff for profit. Who, me? You're saying that since my stream lagged? Oh, her! No, actually, that's a that's a point where the corp is trying to come after her at one point for tax evasion. Because she makes so much money. That's an actual plot point that happens. But yes, she commits tax fraud. It's great. But yeah, she's the moneymaker. And yeah. And then you got Hades and Persephone, you got Punk and Sheik, and then you got the last two people. You got the Alpha and the Empress. Articles included. Those are articles, yes? Articles. So we'll start with the Empress. She is a living legend. Basically every single urban legend that involves a Tenno is about her, and it is true. She is a highly skilled, highly deadly Saren who is really powerful and really competent. That's a good word to describe her. She is competent. I should just write down a script for these guys and just read it off every stream instead of doing it off the top of my head. It'd probably be a lot shorter and a lot more condensed. I should do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna turn off the stream and like crash. I could dream though. And yeah, we don't know her real name as of right now. I think it may or may not be revealed in the future, but as of right now, she is just the Empress. She was a legend during the war, and she is still a legend now. And her partner is the Alpha. So the Alpha is great. He is basically a cryptid. He is crazy tall, crazy thin. He's like Slender Man. He's got mismatched eyes. He is terrifying looking. He is terrifying acting. Like you'll think you're all alone, and then he'll say something and you realize he's been standing right behind you for 10 minutes. He's a ghost. He makes no noise when he moves. He doesn't talk very often, and when he does, it's in one-word answers. But once you realize that he just doesn't like talking and he's a really quiet boy, then you realize he's actually a Disney princess. Like, animals flock to him. Like, he could make any animal fall in love with him instantaneously. He has a heart of gold. He, like, goes fishing for, like, 24 hours non-stop just to feed the people of Cetus. Like, he's just a soft boy who happens to look like a Lovecraftian horror. And yeah, so you got the Alpha and the Empress together. And those are the 6 main characters. And then obviously there's Warframe characters. Like Ballas is a big deal because he was Corey and the Empress's boss back during the war. You got you know, just random Warframe characters will show up and make appearances. So again, since this is a Warframe story, if people don't understand the terminology or the references, just ask me and I will be happy to let you know what the heck's going on. And with that, we got that 20-minute intro, well, 15-minute intro spiel out of the way, and we can start the story. See, this is probably why it's taking me so long to finish the book, is because I just spend so long on my intro spiels. Alright, oh, before we do, I need to set a cozy background music thing and the background. Does anybody have votes on what they want it to be? Because otherwise, I'll probably just make it like a jungle or rain. I haven't been able to find a rainforest. Let me see if I can find a rainforest one. Yeah, I'll probably just make it rain or ocean. But yeah, you could also have like birds in the trees. You can have waves on a beach. You could have a fire crackling. Like anything that's not just back. Oh, there's cricket music. Huh. Or crickets chirping. Quick question. Did you ask the person who made this story into a D&D version or mod? Wait, hold. Wait, let me read this. Did you ask the person who made the story? Okay. So there is a D&D version of Warframe which you can play. I believe I linked it last time I streamed. You can play a Tenno class in D&D. That is possible. That it's not a module. That character, that class was not made by the person who wrote the story. In the story, the characters discover D&D and decide to play it, but we do not see them actually play D&D. We only see them decide to play it, and then next chapter it's about something else, so we don't actually see their D&D game. Is that what you're asking? I could be a dungeon master for a Warframe module, maybe, is what you're suggesting? I could! I could. Yeah, I'll have to be after my current campaign is over, and who knows when that's gonna be. But yeah, you're good with whatever kind of background. All right. Your mind tends to go on repeat. All right, got you. Hey, no worries. I hope I managed to explain what you were trying to ask. All right, well, if nobody cares, I'm gonna try to find a jungle noise, and if I can't find one, we'll probably just go back to I could do crickets. I haven't done crickets before. I'm probably gonna do crickets if I can't find a jungle. Jungle. Sounds copyright free. Alright, this one's only an hour. Oh. Alright, cool. Let's try this. Pause the background music. Do. How does this sound? It's mostly birds. I mean, what else did I expect for a jungle? Let's click on a few more and see if... There's some pretty birds in there, though. Yeah, I'm gonna click on another one and see if it's any different. I think I like this one a little better, honestly. You want an ocean or Zen music? I'm trying to steer away from music and just make it mostly background sounds. I mean, I could do music. We did an ocean one last time. We could do it again, though. Yeah, this one's nice. I'm gonna use this one next time I stream this. But yeah, we could do the ocean one. Do. We did like waves on a beach. A little loud. Maybe it's just loud on my end. No, that seems a little loud. It's more white noise. We could just do the one I did last time. Oh, that one's much better. Alright, we'll do this one. Okay, I'm gonna read a chapter. Please let me know if the background music is overpowering the sound of me reading. Alright, and let's move on. Let me arrange the screen so that I can see the chat and see... What else do I need to see? I don't think I need to see anything else. I just need to see the book, right? The book in the chat, that's it. Ooh, says viewers will experience buffering? And also, if you guys experience buffering, please let me know. I don't know why that would be caused. Alright, let's start the book. This is 20 minutes into the story. We're starting the book, finally. All right. Seas who could sing so deep and strong. Wait, what? The stream looks okay on your end. Okay, cool. Nice. Maybe that's just YouTube freaking out. I don't know. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong by heartslogos, which is book 5 of I'd Rather Fall Among the Stars. Chapter 163. The Empress is hitting a growth spurt. Punk whispers this to Judge and Corey like he's imparting the most valuable and confidential and dangerous information in the known system. He is. It's appropriate. Corey's gloves creak with how hard she's squeezing Judge's arm. Empress has always been around Corey's height, and Corey's always been the shortest out of the 6 of them. The Empress is also around Punk's age, they think. So her starting to grow is not unexpected, but highly anticipated in the back of the mind. Intellectually, they all know that they'll start growing sooner or later. The void and their cryogenic sleep did not stop their growth entirely so much as slow it down, and the longer that they're out of stasis, the more their bodies start to realize there's catching up to do. Even Corey's steadily been putting on centimeter after centimeter. But the Empress, for the longest time that anyone can piece together, has remained statically the same. Until now.
What's it like?
Judge whispers, eyes wide as Corey's fingers possibly leave bruises on his arm.
She has a new suit,
Punk says. Still white? Corey asks.
Still white, Punk answers. Still white, still plain, but, the entire image feels different.
Punk swallows nervously.
I think she's going to be as tall as the Alpha. Maybe.
Judge and Corey look at each other in awe. The Empress? Alpha-sized? That's too much power for one person to have. But if the Empress has it, then it makes sense. And of course that's how the universe would flow. But still, Empress's power and a body Alpha's size? Both of them would be hard-pressed to find somebody who would willingly go up against the Empress like that. Also, the Empress and Alpha are the perfect couple.
This is amazing, Judge whispers.
Is it? Corey fumbles for the words, eyes flickering between Punk and Judge before settling on Punk. Her voice regains some steadiness.
Jude.
Punk's eyes snap to her instantly, all 3 of them solemn and quiet as they wait for Corey to put her words together.
Jude, Corey repeats, you can't lie to me for the next part, or exaggerate, at all. I need the truth, the unfiltered, unbiased truth without embellishments or any garbage.
Sorry, lost my spot.
Corey,
Jude says, and now Judge knows for sure that the 2 of them are best friends behind his back, even if Corey would never admit it, because Corey told Punk her name at some point, and Punk hasn't used it in front of them this entire time. They have to be best friends. Low voice as solemn and steady as Judge has ever heard it.
I swear it on every single sponsorship title on record I have.
Is the growth spurt impacting her combat performance? Corey asks. And then the 3 of them sink into silence. Judge stunned because he forgot that with the change in height and possible limb proportions, the Empress might be off balance. Corey's waiting for the answer, and Punk formulating the answer.
She's switched to daggers, Punk says, and shotguns.
Corey and Judge both let sudden exhales through their teeth.
I think her new reach is making her miss her targets,
Punk confides, eyes darting around, as if the Empress herself will drop in at any moment.
So she's compensating by decreasing the overall range of the weapons she's using, but her transference is still spot on. I think she's actually doing better because she's getting closer to her Warframe's hat.
Where is she right now?
Working the void, Punk asks. Working the void, Punk asks. Relearning parkour with the laser rooms, I'm guessing. Or maybe just working on practicing against endless enemies.
That's what Samaris is for, Judge doesn't say.
Are we in trouble?
He asks again. Instead.
Maybe?
Punk squints a little.
I mean, she might requisition us for some defense waves or something to work on her stuff some more, but I think we'll be okay.
I want to have a growth spurt, Corey mutters, a little jealous, hand finally easing up on its death grip on Judge's arm. Is it my turn next?
Probably alphas again, Punk replies. He hasn't stopped growing. I'm kind of starting to think he might never stop. Alpha already looms over some Warframes, and now Empress has started growing to possibly match him. They're too overpowered, Judge says. I don't know why the system is still at war when they exist. Because they care about one thing and one thing only, Quarry replies. Earth. They're probably why no one's been able to claim Earth, because they claimed it. One second. Enjoy the background music. I lost it. Oh, here it is. I found it. It's not playing. No, please. Please. What if I close this and then open this? It's loading. Just enjoy. Just enjoy the background music. I don't know why this isn't working. Technology. What's the Nebulux stream without technology problems? Just there's waves on the beach. Look at them. They come to this place when they know they are not pure. Oh, I think it's just my computer. It's just my computer. My computer is not running very well. Oh, I think I know why. It's because I have too many tabs open. That's probably why. It's because I have too many tabs open. Alright, let me close some tabs. Yeah, look at that Firefox usage. I'm just gonna end this. Oh, there goes the background music. That's fine. That's right. The background music was a restore session. Alright. And then get the background music. There's no such things as too many tabs. I agree. Alright, now for the music. That should have fixed my RAM usage. Please. This is the person who loves keeping tabs open. I will not deny that I have quite a unusually large number of tabs open, and I regularly do. Okay, I think let me try playing a different piece of... Okay, so my normal music's working. I think it's just this that's not working. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Haha, sorry everybody. Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. Hey, I have a different... Hey, it just so happens I have a different noise that I can play instead. I downloaded that dropship noise for my bit alert arms. Thank you. I could use that instead. Perfect. Alright. So this is the in boom that I use for bits. Wait, it's not working either. That's fine. I will look up a YouTube video that has sound on it. More RAM usage. Heck yeah. Down to just 53 tabs across 4 windows. Hey, that's impressive. 4 windows though. Why would you have them in 4 windows? Just put them all in the same one. I use... Apparently, there's supposed to be some browser out there that specifically
geared towards having low RAM, like for gamers, quote unquote. Yeah, okay, this isn't working either. Yeah, I'm gonna find a YouTube video. Somebody told it, you know how on YouTube channels they have those ads that they say at the end of the videos. Like, one of those people told me about some browser that was supposed to have like the smallest amount of RAM usage possible, and I'm like, wow, that sounds great, I should download it. And then I clicked next video and like never clicked on the link in the description. So hey, I don't remember the name of it. I'd probably recognize it if I saw it again though. All right, what transition noise? Alright, let's listen to this. There's 3 minutes of transitional noises. That is not one of them. That is the intro card. Number 1. Okay. I'm not really a fan. Also, it's really long. It is very long. Well, hey! Live technical problems. I hope you guys are happy. Get to experience my pain live. These are all really long. Forget this guy. Oh, how about this one? Lo-fi aesthetic sound effects. Okay, yes, I don't want to subscribe to you. Please, just give me my sound effects. Please. Hi, welcome back to your channel. No, I want the sound effects! Stop advertising! Skipping to the middle. That's kind of cute. They're really short though. I want a slightly longer one. That was cute. These are all cute noises. Multiple screens. Sometimes you want to listen and watch while you do. Oh, so it's all the same browser. They're just all. I could do one of these. Okay. Alright, we're doing that one. Okay. So, in case it wasn't obvious, we are not done with the chapter. There was a scene transition, which I needed a noise for. So, now I have a noise for it. I'm gonna pull this out into another window, and I'm gonna move it over here, and then I'm gonna move this over here. Whoopsies. Alright, we're good to go. Okay, you actually have another desktop that has D&D stuff. Oh, dang. Okay, it does. Yeah, I usually just close all my D&D tabs after this session, and then like never open them till 5 minutes before the next one, so that's just me not researching. Alright, let's continue with chapter. Thank you for standing by while Nebulux experiences this technical difficulties. We thank you for your patience and hope that you'll return to Nebulux Airlines sometime soon. Thank you. It's not actually an airline, so it's just the first company that I thought of that does those announcements. Anyway, we're going on to the next chapter. Empress, the Helmuth Charger, is licking Corey's palm with her glimmering proboscis. Slow, steady laps that don't show signs of stopping. The Charger's tail is wagging behind her as she sticks her mandibles onto Corey's palm for better licking access. Did you touch something interesting? Judge asks. Something that smells nice? Corey shrugs, giving the Charger a scratch behind the ear that causes the creature to make a very happy clicking sound. She's just an affectionate girl, Corey replies. Maybe she can smell the Furliac pods I was working on? And thinks it's a snack? Judge questions, crouching down next to them and patting the Charger's bony body, feeling the movement of her ribcage as she breathes. When you're a Helmuth Charger, most things are a snack, Corey replies, cooing at the Charger. Isn't that right? You treat that Charger nicer than you treat most people. My Charger displays more competency than most people, Corey retorts. Me included? Judge asks. Why?
Corey levels a flat look at him. Do you want me to scratch you underneath your chin and tell you that you're a good boy?
Judge flushes immediately, hot and vibrant, and he feels the crackle of electricity spread across his skin.
No.
His voice cracks tellingly, and Corey smirks.
Don't.
Mercifully, Corey returns her attention back to the charger, licking her hand.
Doesn't the mucus bother you?
Judge asks, clearing his throat.
I'm used to being a nidus, Corey answers. I have 2 non-functioning arms that are made entirely of some kind of jelly-like substance, and my entire body can split open with mucus strands. Does the mucus bother you?
Yes.
Not as much as it used to, Judge says.
He's just glad that ever since Corey's altered her nidus's head shape, he hasn't had to scratch her brain for her. Next chapter. Woo, woo. Oh yeah, so in this chapter, I was gonna make a note and mention a thing, but then I kind of forgot because technical problems. But I don't know if it's confirmed canon or not that Tenno age slower than people or have stopped aging at all. Like, obviously in this story they have slowed. It's my personal headcanon that they've stopped aging, but that's just me. There's no way to confirm it. It is up for debate. Hello there, oopsie poopsie. Welcome to the stream. That is a very weird question. It's a very weird question. How am I supposed to take this? I guess as a function of the body, it is an efficient waste disposal method. But other than that, no. It's smelly and gross. But welcome to the stream. We are reading a book. We are reading Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong. Yeah. There's some aging going on. Look at Rel. Does he age though? We don't see him. We never actually see Rel. We see his shadows. And we see the harrow that he was in. But we don't actually see Rel. As far as I'm aware anyway. But yeah, there could be aging. There could not be aging. I don't think we know for sure if there is or not. Maybe you're thinking of something else. Are you thinking of like... Look at Rel. I mean, he aged before the Zaraman incident. Like, yeah, obviously, up until the Zaraman incident, the Tenno were all normal. But I'm thinking, like, maybe once the Zaraman incident happened, it kind of sealed them in place, made them immortal kind of thing. Yeah, because we don't know if after the Zaraman incident, they were put in somatic pods and then used as... They're used to fight the old war. And as far as I'm aware, somatic pods don't stop aging. They just keep you asleep. Like, put you in stasis, I guess. But then, no. But then you have the cryostasis pods, which is what we were in. Or I guess, no, we were. Somatic pods were cryostasis pods. Huh. Never mind. I'm getting confused. I'm just getting confused. You thought it was implied that age was an issue since he was outside the dream, but it's been a hot minute since you replayed the quest. I don't remember. I know that, what's her name? The lady said a lot of stuff about Rel. I always forget her name. The one with the kavat. She said a lot of stuff. I know he's been around a long... So I guess he is a confirmation that the Tenno are, like, immortal, more or less, because... It's been it's been centuries, to quote the Lotus from the opening cinematic. It has been centuries since the Tenno went to sleep. So Rel has been alive for centuries. But he has also been in transference for centuries. So maybe he died and became transference energy? Like, we don't know. I think we can assume, though, that Tenno are immortal or age slower, even if they are not frozen in time. Okay, if they're not immortal, they at least have a much longer lifespan than normal humans, because he was in Harrow for centuries. Were the ceramic pods the same ones the frames were in when they were awoken by Vor? Oh, the somatic pods. I don't know. I don't think so. No, they're different. They're different. So I think the Warframes were in like a cryostasis to stop them from aging. And then we were in somatic pods, which they were, let me think. They were used for transference, so you could use transference in the somatic pods. And apparently, since when we got pulled out of the pods in the second dream, that's where we had been this whole time. So I assumed they could also double as a cryopod. But I think the first function of them was for transference and not for cryostasis. It's really fuzzy. But yes, they are different looking pods, if I remember correctly. Because yeah, they wouldn't put a Warframe in a somatic pod. Unless, yeah, they wouldn't put a Warframe in a somatic pod, because what would a Warframe... Never mind. I'm talking in circles. Timeline for the Drifter raises questions. Well, so the Drifter's different, though. Drifter's different. Drifter... Oh, you're right. Drifter was never put in a somatic pod, and Drifter was never put in cryostasis, but Drifter does age. But Drifter is also in the Rift the entire time. Or not the Rift, the Void. Rift is different. Limbo. The Drifter's also in the Void the entire time, which probably has an effect upon the aging of their body, which is probably why it's been hundreds of years in the overworld, I guess, for lack of a better term, and the Drifter is still alive, because I assume time in the Void works differently. It's not clear how long they existed prior to... Well, we know that they and us, the Drifter and the Operator were the same before the Zarman incident. And then after the Zarman incident, it split them off into separate realities. So the entire time, all the hundreds of years that our Operator has been in cryostasis, the Drifter has been awake and alive in the Void and maybe in the Duviri plane. I assume. They never went into stasis because it was the Lotus who put us in stasis. And the Lotus didn't have an effect on the Drifter, because the Drifter was never rescued. Maybe Plains of Duviri will answer someday? I hope so. I hope so. I'm looking forward to the Plains of Duviri. Like, dang. When they popped that trailer, I'm like, I could not be less enthusiastic for it. I was not looking forward to it at all. I'm just like, it looks pretty boring. Looks confusing. Looks meh. Whatever, I don't care about Plains of Duviri. And then now that new war has dropped, I'm like, oh, heck yeah! I want to know more about Drifter's backstory. Give me all that Drifter lore. I want to know. Take me to Duviri. Are there going to be more amp guns over there? I got high hopes for Duviri. Alright, anyway, that is enough. Wow. Amazing. We've been live for 45 minutes and we've read one chapter. This is great. This is great. Peak stream. Anyway. But yes. TLDR. Somatic pods were used for transference. And also, I guess, short-term storage of people that can turn into long-term storage. Because they weren't... Okay, they were in somatic pods the entire time that they were fighting during the New War. They were just laying in their pods and then controlling the Warframes. So they were not in stasis. So, short-term somatic sleep, mind control, transference stuff. And then they also had the long-term cryo storage, which they did when the Lotus took over. Alright, moving on. Duviri better let me ride a robot horse. Oh yes, they will. That's probably why it's taken so long for them to update it and add it to the game, is because they're working out the mechanics of horse riding. Heck yeah. I mean, they show it in the trailer, and then the Drifter even mentions it during the New War. They're like, oh, I bet using a Warframe's just like riding a horse or something like that. Like, There's horses. Horse riding is canon. We are gonna get horses, undeniably. Chris, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. All the stories, yes. Hey, well, glad I could help bring joy. We are just wildly speculating about the mechanics of Tenno and whether or not they age. Soft maybe they age, but there is nothing confirmed. Drifter doesn't count, because Drifter's in the void. Actually, if Drifter's in the void, I think maybe they do age, but very slowly because of Rel still being alive after centuries. But again, Rel may or may not be just pure transference energy at that point and not actually having a corporeal body. Who knows? I don't. And I don't think the game is going to be around in hundreds and hundreds of years. So yeah, Duviri is going to answer all our questions. I'm looking forward to Duviri. Anyway, next chapter. Let's move on. I tried to TLDR and it didn't work. We're testing out some game mechanics. Ooh, sounds exciting. Hey, well, glad to have you. For sure. I'm happy that you guys are here at the stream. Very happy that people were able to make it. That people actually care about the book ratings. Alright, because yeah, again, I love this book so much. Again, I can't take credit for it. I did not write this stuff. That was all heartslogos. Again, link in the description if you have an AO3 account. Okay. Sees Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong by heartslogos. Chapter 164. Judge rubs his eyes, the faint pink light of the somochord player in the center of his living quarters still visible on the back of his eyelids. It's better than the blue light of a screen, or so he's told. The small dancing Octavia continues to shimmy and bop to the low music that he'd turned down a few hours ago. He stretches his arms over his head, feeling a pop along his back and several sharp cracks as he rotates his neck and stretches his fingers. He glances over his shoulder towards his bed. Corey's under the covers, but he can barely see her aside from her bare pale arm thrown over Midas's huge barrel chest. The Kubra really shouldn't be on the bed, but at some point between Judge having Skyla turn the lights and music low, and now the huge Kubro had left his own bed and gotten onto Judge's. Frankly, Judge doesn't have the heart to wake him up and send him off either. The dog's legs twitch in his sleep, tongue lolling out of his mouth as he drools all over Judge's bed, snuffling at some imaginary target or toy. Midas still sleeps like he's a little puppy, legs going about and chasing things, tail wiggling, ears twitching, letting out more little snores and snuffles and the occasional bark. The dog will never stop being a puppy, no matter how big he gets, and he is getting pretty big. There probably isn't much room left on that bed for him between Corey and the giant dog. Judge leans his cheek on his palm, watching his dog and looking at the thin line of Corey's arm cutting across his dog's fur, moving ever so slightly every time Midas breathes. Everything is bathed pink. It's just Judge's thoughts and the sound of Midas snoring, the faint hum of the ship recycling air, and the engines keeping them in orbit around Ceres. It's not the worst company he's found himself in. Himself and his thoughts. At least his thoughts are a little kinder right now, tempered in that pink light. It would be nice if it was like this all the time. Somewhere around the ship is Judge's Umbra, but he makes himself scarce unless Judge needs him, and frankly, Judge doesn't know what the Warframe wants from him. Umbra probably doesn't know what he wants either, so he lets him be. Umbra comes and goes, like a ghost on the ship. Like Judge's ghosts, his hallucinations, but better. Still dangerous, still a little frightening, but better. He wonders if Umbra doesn't like Corey. Corey's own Umbra seems different than Judge's, for all that they're the exact clones of the original man, right down to the memories and the heartache. Well, no, not exactly. Corey and her Umbra have some kind of connection, something that passed between them during those heated moments of frantic hunting and chasing that led to the climactic scene underneath the moon with the lotus, Nata. And whatever bond that is, it's made that Umbra into a different one than Judge's silent ghost. Corey's Umbra goes freely on her ship, unless there's another Tenno that isn't Corey or Judge present. Rarely, Judge thinks. He's seen the Warframe going through Corey's data files and her things. He's seen the Warframe examining other Warframes that for the most part remain still and docile under the attention. He's seen Corey's Umbra practicing by himself in Corey's transference chamber with her arsenal of weapons. He's also seen Umbra sitting at Corey's feet while she's in transference, watching her. Judge would say there's some kind of love between them, a love made of hate and hurt, but he isn't sure. Because he's seen Corey and Umbra face each other like they want nothing more in the world than to throw fists. But he also knows that Umbra has gently brushed hair out of Corey's eyes, and Corey let him. Whatever it is, it's complicated, and far removed from what Judge has with his own Warframe. Judge hasn't asked her about it. Corey barely talks about her own problems. He doubts she'd be willing to talk about her Warframe's problems, and Corey doesn't bring her Umbra along on most missions. He thinks that she only uses him when she's alone, rarely with Judge. Judge has yet to bring his Umbra along on any missions, alone or with Corey. He's not sure if he wants to. He blinks out of his thoughts when he sees movement. Corey's lifted her head up, barely visible over Midas's huge shoulder. Awake, she grumbles, one eye half open, the other still closed, short hair tousled and flattened on one side. She looks confused, like there's a question mark over her head. It's cute. Someday he might even tell her that when she's awake and coherent. Corey might even let him. Ugh.
Sorry,
Judge says quietly, smiling.
Go back to sleep.
She blinks slowly, wrinkling her nose as she squints at him. You?
No room for me on there.
Corey's gaze slowly slides to Midas. He can visibly see her brain slowly start to work the situation out. Corey's in the bed, and so is the giant dog. The bed is not big enough for Corey, the giant dog, and Judge. Either Corey goes, or the giant dog goes if Judge gets on. Sucks, Corey decides, and flops black down. Judge muffles his laugh.
Do you like my bed?
Judge asks. Stinky. Corey's voice is muffled. Smells like dog drool. And you. Yuck. She doesn't move, though, or say she doesn't like it, so Judge counts it as a semi-positive.
I'll have my bed washed,
Judge promises. No, Corey mumbles. Comfy.
But stinky?
Super stinky, Corey confirms, yawning as she cuddles Midas, drifting back to sleep within moments. Judge grins, standing up to stretch his back and legs. He'll walk around some. Maybe he'll find Umbra. Maybe he won't. As he passes, he gently pats Corey's foot.
I'll be back,
he says to the sleeping room. Ah, I lost my spot. That is the wrong noise. That is also... There we go. Whew. Next chapter. Chapter 165. They've spent an entirely too lazy day doing trash relic runs. Lith and Meso fishers with relics that neither of them care enough to refine, getting items they've already managed to wrangle from the void. Corey's nidus is a long, lean line of bone and eyeballs leaning against the ducats exchange console. Nidus doesn't have visible eyes or optics aside from the ones on his shoulders and back, but his face is angled upwards towards the relay's lights as Judge lazily flicks through relics to get them exchanged for ducats. Judge's eyes keep wanting to slip closed, and he knows that Corey's nursing a quiet headache. She wouldn't have even come to the relay at all if it wasn't for the fact that she had to do a quick stop with Samaris. Judge yawns, transference wobbling a little as his own mind threatens to drag him into a very deep sleep. Dangerous stuff, sleep. Judge can go ages without it. It's not healthy, but he can do it, and it usually he does without wanting to. But when he finally crashes, he crashes. Usually he's woken up by Handsome, scratching him with her claws, howling like a demon to be fed or given some mediocre token of affection that she can quickly decide she hates so she can scratch at him some more. Or Corey kicking the foot of his bed, snapping at him to get up and eat something because she doesn't know how to insert an IV drip and doesn't feel like calling Alpha or Sheik to do it for her. Some Banshee parts, some Lex parts. He even has a few Fang and Limbo parts to throw in, and...
You didn't tell me we had a Mesa Prime,
Judge says, suddenly awake as he stares at all 4 of the Mesa Prime components listed in front of him. He says, because if he has it, Corey has to have it. They always do their Fisher runs together, and when they don't, it's only for junk runs.
What?
Corey's suddenly alert and perfectly... Whoa, that's the wrong voice.
What?
Corey's suddenly alert and perfectly awake, all of Nidus's eyes swiveling onto him.
What do you mean we have a Mesa Prime?
She quickly turns, activating another console screen.
I'm leaving you.
She says immediately after opening the screen, turning on her heel and bullet jumping away towards the docking area. Judge quickly scrambles after her, collecting his ducats.
How did you not know we had a Mesa Prime? Judge asks. I'm always asking you what we need. I'm not looking for a Mesa Prime. You're a completionist. You look for everything.
Well, you were the one who was a Mesa main for a while.
I've been preoccupied as a Sandman.
Corey's transmission cuts as she gets onto her extraction unit, heading back to their main ships. Judge quickly follows after her, breaking transference as soon as his Warframe is safely secured and in transit to their orbiters.
Argon!
Corey screams at him as soon as he's on his ship, voice furious and buzzing with energy through Skyla's speakers.
I know you wanted to sleep. I know I wanted to sleep, but... Argon! I'm entering coordinates for the void, Judge says.
Ortis! Where's my Necros? Where did you put my Necros? Judge can only guess what Ortis is saying back because Corey scoffs and snaps back at the Cephalon.
Link me,
Corey says as Judge prepares the ship for a jump to the void.
Void, I'll link you.
Judge accepts the squadron request without looking, too busy focusing on hoping for a clean void run where they get the Argon on their first try. Predictably, they don't get it on their first try, or their second. They do get it on their third, and that gets the both of them back at their ships exhausted. Corey's come aboard his ship after setting her Mesa up for building. Her eyes are bright, and as she leans against the orbiter wall next to his foundry, illuminated by the light of the void shining through from the navigation area up top. She grins at him.
We've got Mesa Primes.
Judge grins back. We've got Mesa Primes. And then he snickers.
Yeehaw.
Corey laughs. Ugh, a punk frame.
Hey, she was my frame first. But yeah, definitely a punk frame.
Judge pauses, then slips into the worst impersonation he can do of Punk.
Howdy, y'all. Who's up for wrestling some Kuva on this here station?
Corey blinks at him blankly for a beat too long, and Judge can feel his ears start to burn, but then she bursts into laughter, clutching her sides.
What the void was?
She wheezes, laughing as she leans against his orbiter.
That's...
Judge spreads his legs and does his best awkward-looking bow-legged strut he can muster up without breaking down in either embarrassment or laughter. He does finger guns at her and winks, pretending to tip a hat.
Ma'am.
Corey's turning pinker than her hair as she slowly slides down the wall, clutching at her sides, practically yowling with laughter. Judge can't help but smile as he watches her curl up on the floor, reaching out to feebly try and smack him, and failing because her eyes are scrunched up with laughter.
You's best be looking in need of some assistance, Judge says, struggling to keep his voice as low as he can get it. He doesn't even talk that way, Corey whimpers. I hate it.
But she's still laughing and shaking with laughter and crying with laughter, so Judge perseveres.
The way I figure it,
Judge starts, and Corey snorts. It's a loud, slightly painful sounding thing, but she's giggling the entire way as she weakly tries to hit him.
I can't,
Corey hiccups. She actually hiccups.
Please, no, stop.
If all Judge had to do was do a very bad impersonations of Punk to get Corey to laugh like this, he would have done this the second he met the Blue Tenno as an Atlas ages ago.
I reckon that you and me having a bit of fun at Punk's expense a mighty fine way to pass the time while our old gunslinger gal is cooking over there in yonder foundry.
I hate you, Corey cries, giving up entirely and just sprawling out on the floor weakly.
Void.
Her hand finds his foot and she weakly clings to his ankle.
I can't breathe,
she wheezes. Skyla chimes that he's getting a communication channel request, and Judge opens it without thinking, the ship broadcasting Punk's voice as he says, "Hey, y'all good for..." And that's as far as he gets before Corey shrieks. She howls, she screams, and Judge goes down with her in a fit of giggling laughter because he can't hold it in anymore.
Are you okay?
Punk asks, sounding alarmed.
Y'all need some assistance? Guys? I can't, Corey sobs. I can't do it anymore. Mesa, Judge attempts to explain to Punk. Mesa. Ew, Corey wheezes. Ew. Are y'all thinking about me and Mesa? I was never a Mesa, you know, Punk says after a beat. How come everyone makes that assumption? Empress messaged me as soon as Mesa Prime's artifacts started coming out of the void, and she was laughing and hooting and hollering about just like you two. Seriously, what's up with that? Judge hopes that Skylar is recording this because he wants stills of Corey's laughing, red and blotchy face. It's a little creepy probably, but he wants to remember her laughing forever. He wants to remember him making her laugh forever. He wants the feeling of being filled with Corey's favorite cola from the tips of his toes to the end of his hair. I hate it, Corey sniffles, hand clawing at Judge's arm as she tries to gasp for breath. I hate it so much. But she's smiling. I love you. She's smiling. I love you so much. Whoopsies, that's the wrong button. Dacras Dante, hello. Welcome to the stream. You haven't been here since November, you think. What'd you miss? See, December, January. Well, you talking about in the book? Oh, you know, character development stuff. Corey told Punk her name. Big character arc there. If you're talking about the streamness, not much. Had a couple collabs. Played some Warframe. The new war came out. I think that came out in December, right? Yeah, it came out in December. New war came out. So I was hyped for that in Warframe. But yeah, welcome back. Hope you enjoy your stay. You hate to see it? Huh? What do we hate to see? I think I did not read your message soon enough. Hate to see people staying away since November? And confusion. People creepily taking pictures of other people's laughing faces. Sure. We can go with that. Wrong buttons. Hate to see wrong buttons. Wait, you typed it in the wrong chat is what you're saying. Alright, fair enough. You liked the entire quest. I have very mixed feelings about it. I liked the quest section of the new war. I liked the game mechanics. I had a blast of a time playing with Drifter. The story, not so much. I did not like the story. For various reasons, which I can talk about at great lengths at the slightest provocation. So how about I not do that and keep reading the book? At least the pictures are of people laughing. Alright, yeah. Okay. Why are you being so ominous about this? Very ominous. Pacing was a bit off. Yeah, especially at the beginning. With Palace and the armor stuff. Very fast. Save bits for a new war lore dump? Yeah, we could do that. You don't need to pay bits for that, though. You could just do that with channel points. Just like to make that clarification, since bits need money. You don't need to pay money for the lore dumps. But yeah, I got you too. We got each other. We got you. Everyone got it. Also, I didn't say hi to Paris. Hello, Paris. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a day. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next chapter before I get distracted by new war lore. Alright, moving on. Again, this is Cease You Could Sing So Deep and Strong, which is book 5. I'd Rather Fall Among the Stars, which is a Warframe story. The link to the story is in the description down below. Yeah. I think at this point in the story, this is after the sacrifice, but before the Chimera prologue, I think. I don't remember. So yeah, the story has not quite caught up to the new war yet. For funsies. Wait, hold up. Bits are free? What do you mean?
Bits? I mean, you can earn them for free, but usually you pay dough for them. You're talking about the channel points. Channel points are free, yeah. You can just request after the free one. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, moving on. Chapter 166. Empress examines Alpha, where he's sitting down and sunning himself like a very large lizard. She wants to stretch out beside him, lining up every single part of herself to every part of him. She breathes in, slowly, exhales slowly, and braces herself to rip this figurative bandage off as fast as possible. "We shall not see each other again," Empress announces. Alpha is immediately sitting up and staring at her, wide-eyed and frightened. "I will be returning to my ship immediately, and all attempts to board will be denied. And if you are persistent, I will launch my ship into the oceans of Uranus, and leave it there for the duration. You may call me, but I will not answer with visual. I also will not be teaming with you for the foreseeable future. We will be revisiting this in the future to discuss whether the separation will continue, or if other arrangements can be made." "What?" Empress nods once to herself, standing up, cursing that everything feels so disorienting. She's in her Warframe, but it feels off, wrong. Things are not lining up as they should, and everything feels strange. Her center of gravity is off, her reach is wrong, her current visuals are at a different angle than she's used to. It's all wrong, and it's throwing her off, and she isn't feeling particularly fond of the situation at all. It is an irritant, and if Empress could stop her physical body from growing and developing, she would, but alas, this is something she has to face. Her body had attempted to catch up to her mind eventually. Unfortunately, it's going to be an ungainly and rather distressing process. A very distressing process. She is already distressed by it, frankly. She had to change into new boots. She hasn't even worn them in yet. She's been practicing void dashes back and forth in her transference chamber, and she's skidded and fallen on her face too many times for her comfort. She has bruises on her side and shoulders when she had to quickly tuck and twist to avoid running headfirst into her orbiter's walls. Her cephalon is ecstatic to start a new training regimen. Empress is grimly determined. Alpha stands up, quickly moving into her space, his hands hovering over hers. She can feel his anxiety pushing against the edges of her own, the grind of stone and the shearing of rock. She takes it. He lets out a shaking sigh. "Are you mad?" he asks, voice quiet and just a little frail. She knocks Saren's horn gently against his forehead. Alpha is already tall enough that he can look her Saren in the face without stretching up. "I'm uncomfortable," Empress answers. Alpha's eyes tighten at the corners. "With myself, not you. Don't tell me you haven't noticed that I've been sloppy these past few days. You've had to clean up after me more times than should be necessary." Alpha's mouth faintly pulls down and his eyes narrow. "I prefer a certain degree of independence," Empress says. "And you know I don't like it when I fail to do anything. I need that degree of self-sufficiency. It is as much a part of me as my love for you, and my black hair and my fingers and toes." "This takes nothing from that." Alpha's hand squeezes around her Saren's fingers, tugging. "Nothing." "Not to you," Empress replies, voice as soft as she can manage. "But for me, it does." She watches his throat bob as he swallows, taking in a slow breath through his narrow lips. "I don't like it when people have to make up for my problems," Empress says, "and I don't like it when I can't do something I know I can do. And above all, you know I hate it when I am less than myself in front of others. Even you. You know why. I need time for the physical changes to settle, and for me to get used to it." "Together," Alpha says. "No," Empress replies. "By myself. It will take time. I know it will. But I need time to adjust by myself. On my own. And when I feel like I can be myself again, I'll come back." Alpha's hand leaves hers, fingertips quietly snagging against hers before flowing away as she steps back, retreating into his own Warframe. She quickly takes his hand back, squeezing as hard as she can. She wills in every single bit of reassurance she can imagine into their hands. She imagines entire stars of love and devotion burning down her fingers into his. "I am not leaving you," she says, reaching up and pulling his head to hers, splaying her Saren's fingers against the back of Oberon's smooth neck. She traces the faint whorls and lines that mimic wood that grow on the flesh of Oberon's neck, and imagines galaxies, gravities, rings and belts. "This is not forever. I will call you. I will write to you. I will sing to you, and I will carve messages out to you across the blank spaces between planets and moons and stars and the bodies of heaven. I will dream of you, and when I feel that I am finally ready, put together enough that I can stand to be myself and be witnessed by others as myself, I will come back to you, like I always do, like I always will." Oberon's head holds firm against hers, the bright glow of his optics burning onto her, one of his hands raising to wind through the tendrils of black that spill from the back of Saren's head, tangling them into his fist as he pulls her flesh, hip to hip, chest to chest, face to face, thighs and knees knocking together. She imagines his breath in the shadow of his eyelashes and the brilliant glow of his mismatched eyes. "You cannot run from me," Alpha promises softly, always soft and always a promise, and always completely sincere and true. "I will wait for you, and I will run to you, fly to you. Promise? Promise." There we go. There's the sound effect I needed. Alright, next chapter. Chaotic King Jumble, hello. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're... Whoopsies, there's my hand. Hope you're having a great week. Yeah, we're just continuing with Seas Who Could Sing It So Deep and Strong. We are on chapter 167 now. Out of 180 something. 86, I think, if I remember correctly. 86, I did remember correctly. So we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. Alright, I'm gonna move on. Seas Who Can Sing So Deep and Strong by heartslogos. Chapter 167. "I'm going away. Take care of him for me." That's what Empress told her. Joy feels honored that the Empress thinks she's capable of taking care of someone, because frankly, Joy can barely take care of herself. Financially, she's golden, but in the way of things, emotionally, spiritually, sometimes mentally and physically, that's a little questionable. It can be a lot questionable, depending on how you look at it. But then, if you consider Empress's other options... Jude, a blue idiot who chugs Kuva for fun. Judge, who's a nervous wreck and a child. Persephone, whose name Joy still doesn't know, and also has so many issues she could probably be her own codex file. Joy is the best out of terrible options if you're going to leave something you cared about behind for a while. Joy doesn't know where the Empress has gone or why, and Alpha just hummed at her when she asked. "You okay?" she had asked. Alpha hummed, some more and startled... Sorry. "You okay?" she had asked. Alpha hummed some more and started to pet her hair. Trying to read his expression is always like trying to read a rock. Not even a particularly exciting rock, like one that's been graffitied or has some cool mineral veins. Just a regular, plain, monotone-looking rock. A skipping stone. "She's coming back, right?" she asked. Alpha didn't hum, but he didn't answer verbally either. Joy is taking that as a maybe for right now. "Did you two fight?" she asked a few days into her new role as person who checks in on Alpha to make sure he doesn't get lost in his own head, or lost to civilization as the universe knows it, by retreating into the forest never to be seen again. Alpha blinked at her, tilted his head, and gently poked her in the forehead. Then he gave her a flower that he pulled out of nowhere. Joy is taking that as a no, they did not fight. Joy has no answers. So when Persephone asks her where the Empress is, Joy says, "I have no idea, girl. Your guess is as good as mine." And when Persephone asks her why Alpha doesn't know either, Joy says, "I think they're trying a long-distance relationship?" because that's the closest she can work out. Now Joy has to deal with the fallout of that guess because Persephone's come back and she's dragged her boy Judge along with her, and now Persephone is nudging Judge, who looks nervous. Joy knows this is about Alpha and Empress because Persephone is shooting pointed looks at Alpha whenever Judge makes eye contact with her. Joy wishes that Empress trusted her life's partner's well-being with someone else right now. Persephone looks expectantly at Judge. Joy looks at Judge, doing her best to be patient and not tease him into running away. Though it's really funny and plenty of fun. Joy imagines Persephone won't be too thrilled about having to run after him and drag him back to say whatever it is she wants Judge to say for her.
What's a long-distance relationship?
Judge asks, the question rushing out of... Oh, never mind, he says it fast.
What's a long-distance relationship?
Judge asks, the question rushing out of him so fast that it sounds like one word, and it takes Sheik a few seconds to figure it out. What?
You told Persephone that Empress and Alpha are trying a long-distance relationship. What's that mean?
Judge asks.
Also, why doesn't anyone know where the Empress is? Is this a puberty thing? Does everyone who goes through puberty disappear?
First of all, Joy says, staring at Judge. Oh, I'm mispronouncing stuff. First of all, Judge says, staring at Judge, why do you say the word puberty like puberty? You sound like a dork. Second, no. When you go through puberty, you don't voluntarily disappear into the unknown. Why would you think that?
Because the Empress was having a growth spurt and Punk said...
Oh, Punk, Joy rolls her eyes, flicking Judge in the forehead. You believe anything that idiot says? Judge and Persephone both look a little guilty. Joy stares at the other pink Tenno. You? Persephone sullenly shifts her on her feet. Joy has no doubt there's a pout hidden behind the thick black scarf around the lower half of Persephone's face. Why would he have made it up? Persephone grumbles. Joy shakes her head at the two younger Tenno. We'll talk about that later. A long-distance relationship is a relationship done over a long distance. It's a circular kind of explanation, but that's what it is. She's not physically here, but she still calls him and sends him messages, and they just do that back and forth rather than seeing each other in person.
But why is it long distance? Judge asks. What's long distance?
I don't know how to answer that, Joy says, after a beat of trying to figure out what Judge isn't understanding. It's a long distance.
But what is a long distance?
Persephone asks.
Like Earth to Uranus? Ceres to Phobos? Mercury to Neptune? Pluto to the void?
Huh. Well, when you put it that way, most of those destinations are only a rail jump away from each other. Joy's flown between Venus, Mars, and Jupiter within one 24-hour cycle for missions. Huh. That's a stumper of a question, isn't it? Joy stares at the two Tenno. They stare back, patiently waiting for her to answer. That's a good question, Joy says, trying to figure out a half-decent answer. She turns to Alpha, who's been fishing quietly for the past 3 hours. Oi, lover boy, what's the definition of long distance? Alpha's Oberon glitters under the warm afternoon sunlight, but otherwise doesn't do anything that could give her a helpful answer. Joy turns back to the two kids, waiting for her to answer. You know what? Joy says, I have no idea. It's not important. What is important is that I've got business to conduct. Actual credit and platinum generating business. So you two watch tall, sparkling, and handsome over there for me, and let me know if he disappears for longer than 6 hours. I've got economies to bust. 167 out of 186. Did you hear that correctly? You did hear that correctly, Chaotic King Jewel. Don't worry, these are episodic chapters. There's not much of an overarching story. Currently there's a mini arc going on that you hopped in right at the beginning of, so yeah. About what's her name? Empress hit a growth spurt and she's very gangly and awkward right now, and she wants to practice on her own, and because she was a warrior trained to the peak of warriorness, and she is embarrassed by the fact that she is not quite at the peak of warriorness because her body is going all over the place. So she's gone off to train. And that's the story, the mini arc so far. But yes, it is a very long story. These are all a series of one-shot slice of life stories taking place in the Warframe universe. Yeah, so I guess just sit back and relax and I will read you guys a story. We are on, again, chapter 168 out of 186. So there's at least one more stream before we're going to be done with the with this particular book. The book is called Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong. It is book 5 of the I'd Rather Fall Among the Stars series. The first 4 books are about like 1 to 2 about 1 to 2 chapters on average, but this one is very long. And it's also the best. It's a good book. It's a good book. Trust me. Trust me. Alright. Moving on. Oops. Arm. Thank you, arm. Chapter 168. Oh, this is another one of the chat log chapters. There's a lot more of these than I remember. Alright, so chat logs. That would be from Ordis's point of view. Alright. Chapter 168. Warning. Operator Persephone's damage meter has dropped below 10%. Distance to Operator Persephone is 121.7 meters. Warning. Operator Persephone's damage meter has dropped into critical levels. Operator Persephone's Warframe, Ember Prime, has taken significant damage and has entered bleed out. Alpha. Have her. Empress. Covered. Hades on me. Suppressive fire while I take out the melee range combatants. Sheik. Eyes on the sky. Bombards and Hellions. Shoot them down. Sheik. Copy that. Hades. Thank you. Who has the payload? Punk. I've grabbed it. Initiate and revive. Percy, are you still on the line? Persephone. Was it a nullifier? Sheik. Yep. You shot down one bubble, but you must have missed the generator because it went back up and took out your world on fire. Alpha. Punk. Get her charger. Punk. On it. Eyes on any more nullifiers? Hades. You took it down with you. It was a bombard that got you right after. Blew you straight into some explosives. It was the concussive blast damage that pushed you into bleed out. Clipped your charger too. Persephone. Is she okay? Thanks, Alpha. Alpha. Welcome. Punk. Yeah, your charger's gonna be fine. She went down after you did, and she hasn't passed out. Also in bleed out. Got a pulse. Hey there, girl. You good? Yup, your entire tongue is licking around my entire head. You're fine. She's fine. Don't eat the payload, girl. Don't eat. Percy, tell your charger not to eat the payload. Persephone. She's not eating it. She's trying to take it away from you. Alpha. I'll take it. Punk. Go wild with it, boss. Sheik. Hades, give us a boost. Tenno on the field. Hades. Gather in. Persephone, get close. Punk. Stop hitting on your girl and give us a boost. Ow! Don't hit me. I just helped revive you in your charger. Persephone. Stop being dumb. Empress. Going on ahead, passing on the emergency boost. Alpha. Tapping in. Punk. Following Empress. Hades. Stepping out. Wait, is that a manic? Anyone have that on audio? Increasing audio. Oh wait, no, this is Ordis. Increasing audio. Isolating sound. Removing background noise. Removing weapon effects. Replaying the last 15 seconds of audio. Hades. We've got manics. Sheik. You know what we don't got? Persephone. What? Punk. Time for manics. Empress. Where are the syndicate operatives? Sheik. Exactly. Persephone. Are they dead already? Hades. We need to go back for them. Punk. Where did we lose them? Alpha. Eyes on the manic. Hades. Move. Punk. Dang, that's sick. Empress. Did I miss him doing something impressive? Sheik. He just ran a manic onto his dagger without moving. Or skidding. With that kind of velocity? Solid stance. Persephone. Teach me that one. Alpha. Not a trick. Stand still. Easy. Punk. I hate to be the one to break it to you, bud, but you stand differently than everyone else I've ever met.
Pretty sure you can breathe different from every aerobic existence. Persephone. Aerobic? Impressive. Have you been reading over Hades' shoulder while he researches? Punk. I know some things. I'm not all sports and gambling.
Sheik. He's right. He's all sports. He can't do the right kind of statistics for gambling. Can't even count cards.
Punk. I can totally count cards and gamble and stuff. I've never lost that much money before, and I'm pretty good at index.
Sheik. You can count. You just can't keep it all straight in your head.
Punk. To be fair, I can't keep anything straight, babe. Before you hit me, remember, you walked right into that one.
Sheik. I know. I hate myself for it. As soon as the words left my mouth, I felt it.
Persephone. I don't get it. Hades. Walked right into what? Is there supposed to be a joke? Was it important?
Sheik. You two are babies. I love you both. You're absolute babies. Never change. I wish you two could stay this cute forever.
Hades. I'm not a baby. Punk. Spoken like a true baby.
Alpha.
Syndicate operatives still gone. Last seen location? Anyone?
Empress. Someone give me the payload. I'm going to finish this myself. Hades. I'll head back towards the initial drop zone. I mean, they were definitely with us then, so that's probably where we saw them, right?
Persephone.
I'm going with Empress.
Sheik. I'll go with Hades. Alpha, Punk, moving forward, moving back.
Empress. Alpha, Punk, both of you go with Hades. The operatives will need as much defense as they can if we've already lost them at this point. Persephone, take point. I'll take the rear and cover us. If lockdown initiates, Persephone or I will handle it. Hades, Alpha, Punk, Sheik. The rest of you focus on the assignment. Clear? Hades.
Copy.
Copy. Punk. Crystal clear. Alpha.
Copy.
Sheik. Copy.
Persephone.
Copy. Moving out.
Empress. Moving out. Hades. Over comms, you'll be unit recover. Persephone and I will be unit objective. Payload is secure. Moving out. Persephone.
Initiating new round of World on Fire. Watch for blast zones and more Corpus strike teams. Of all the times for the Steel Meridian to do a sabotage run, it had to be the exact same time as a Corpus strike.
Sheik. That's just Punk's extravagant luck.
Punk. Or it could be Hades been a magnet for extraordinary situations. Rat Queen Killer? Hades. Please don't call me that. Punk. Is the truth, handsome? Persephone.
You brought the cat? I hope it gets blasted. Ugly, wherever you are, I hope you get your butt beat, you possessed bag of flesh. I know you won't, and you'll survive whatever the void of space has to throw at you to scream another day, but I can hope.
Hades. No, Punk's just being Punk, and stop being so mean to Handsome. I know you love her.
Persephone. Ugly and I have a mutual understanding. Love is not part of that understanding.
Empress. I am going to mute this channel and switch to a private one with Persephone. I trust your judgment on whether or not I need to hear any of this.
Wow, the background music ended. Let me cue that up again. Hello? I said, let me cue that up again. There we go. It's back. It's back.
Ooh, whoops, that is the wrong button. Alright, moving on.
Alright. Chapter 169. Empress is back.
Sheik sounds and looks so beyond tired. Well, let's do that then.
Empress is back. Sheik sounds and looks so beyond tired. She's entered the realm of being like Judge. Corey is excited about this news because Punk and Alpha are out of control without Empress. Punk in that no one can scare him into acting with a shred of sense. Alpha in that without anyone to warn them or provide a general map marker for where he might be, Alpha started popping up anywhere and everywhere without warning, without any single drop of forewarning or context. If Empress is around, you at least know to be ready for the alpha jump scare, even if you don't know what will happen. Sorry. If Empress is around... I lost my spot. There we go. If Empress is around... If Empress is around you, at least you know to be ready for the alpha jump scare, even if you don't know how it will happen. Without Empress, you just have to practice constant vigilance and hope you don't get hypertension. Corey is also excited because she's always excited to see the Empress in a general sense. She's the Empress. How could she not be? Empress is everything every Tenno should strive to be. Powerful, graceful, succinct, intelligence, wise, efficient, sharp, controlled. Empress can take down entire eidolons by herself. If Empress were there, Corey's willing to wager that she would have killed both Grineer Queens at once, not just one. Empress probably could take down the entire Corpus machine if she put her mind to it. Empress is amazing, and Corey's extremely fortunate to be able to talk to her and have her on her contact frequency list. The Empress has been on her orbiter before. The Empress kissed one of her Kubro. Sheik's general tone of voice and demeanor reflects none of this. Not even the relief that there's going to be someone capable of scaring Punk into a form of sensibility. Why do you sound so upset about it? Corey asks. It would be easier to rip Lua in half than pry Empress and Alpha off each other, Sheik says. It was sweet for the first 2 minutes. Now I'm just tired of it. Corey wrinkles her nose. Not that Sheik can see it behind her mask and scarf. Sheik sighs, shaking her head. I know you have no idea what I mean. They've been taking turns physically carrying each other. When they stand still, they just hold each other. They've run with their hands held. I'm not sure if this is codependency or not. I mean, they willingly separated and spent time apart and didn't die. So it's not like they absolutely need each other. But now that they're back together, it's like overwhelming. I'm not making sense. You should see for yourself. Do I want to see for myself? Corey asks. You won't get it until you do, Sheik replies. Do I want to get it? Persephone, do you want to walk into a situation you aren't prepared for? The answer is, of course, no. Where are they? Earth. So Corey goes to Earth, skirting around Cetus and heading towards one of the heavier forested areas, searching for one of Empress's or Alpha's signals. You're going to see the lovebirds, Punk says when she accepts a comm line from him. Head to the grove. They aren't near Cetus. How do you know? Because I'm here right now, Punk says. Hurry up. I don't want to be here by myself. How can you be by yourself if you're with Empress and Alpha? To be so young, so naive. Corey almost turns around and goes back to her ship, but Sheik's right in that Corey really doesn't want to be the only one who doesn't know what's going on. So she bites her cheek, reins in her temper, and pushes towards the grove. She makes it just before nightfall. Only another hour or so of coasting on Arkwing, nothing too complicated or fancy, though she does feel a little woozy. Punk chattering at her every now and again. Corey lands, digging Nidus's heels into the dirt just to feel something solid. She sees Punk's chroma and starts to jog towards him. So, they're cute, Punk says as she comes closer, but boy, oh boy, makes you feel mighty awkward if it's just you and them and no one else. She follows him into the grove and sees Empress and Alpha, except Corey has to blink, reaching out and pulling on Punk's arm as she points at them, mouth hanging open. Tall, Corey says. Punk nods solemnly, patting Corey's gloved hand. Tall. The Empress is almost as tall as Alpha now. He's still taller than her, but it's not like before. Before, Empress was Corey's height. Now she's as tall as Punk, actually. She's tall and lean and sharp like Alpha. She's got a new suit, still gleaming white, but with dark red accents. It's still plain, simple, streamlined. Overall, it's not much of a change in appearance, and her long black hair still hangs down her back like a waterfall. But she's so tall now. She and Alpha are standing toe to toe, looking into each other's eyes, arms loosely held around each other. Corey is instantly very uncomfortable and attempts to back out before they can be noticed, but Punk turns on her with those big stupid eyes and whimpers, "Do you understand?" Yes, Corey absolutely understands. They should not be here. With them, it's like they're intruding. Corey does not want to intrude. Corey wants to, the opposite of that, extrude? Be as far away from here as possible. "I'm going," Corey says, as she watches Empress dip Alpha until he's almost parallel with the ground, smiling at him as they continue to talk to each other, faces just inches apart. "I'm going right now." She pulls on Punk's wrist, both of them backpedaling as they rush for the entrance of the grove, turning their backs on the besotted couple behind them. "If I ever get that way with Judge, I want you to shoot me," Corey says. She has no idea how the Empress and Alpha can do that without wanting to melt into the ground with embarrassment. "Mood," Punk says. "It'd be totally romantic and cute and stuff, except they've been like that for days. And every time I see them do something like that, I feel like a skeevy voyeur." Corey shudders. "I'll shoot you if you shoot me," Punk says. "Deal?" "I'll make it a headshot so I can try knocking you back to normal," Corey promises. New chapter. Heck yeah, new chapter. One chapter after the other. Moving on to chapter 170. Persephone. Oh, whoops. Didn't check and see who was talking. Let's start over. Chapter 170. "Persephone's mad," Hades says, climbing over several overturned Corpus shipping containers and sounding out of breath. Alpha waves. Punk waves also, and in the process feels some blood and loose skin slide off his techo. "Perse is always mad," Punk says, "so what's up?" "She's mad," Hades repeats, perching on a barrel as he watches Alpha finish off the corpus around them. He's just making sure they're dead and not faking it. Punk is pretty sure that they're dead, but it never hurts to be sure. Look at Alid V. They've been sure that idiot is dead for ages, time and time again, and he crawls back to start new drama. The tenacity there would be impressive if he weren't so chatty and annoying. Ugh. That dude give Punks shivers. Not a good way or a fun way. More like how Hades' Kavat shivers before throwing up. Like a gagging shiver. Ugh. Oops. Excuse me. Ugh, just thinking about it makes him feel the kuva he drank earlier today wiggle up his throat. Nasty. "She's been fishing by herself on the coast of Cetus for 6 hours, Hades says. "Fishing for Carkina and Mercury. She doesn't even like fishing on Cetus anymore. She only does it when Alpha's around because that's how she bonds with people. Standing still and not talking to them for a few hours." Punk flashes Alpha a thumbs up. "Don't worry, bud. Nothing wrong with connecting to people in pure, amicable silence." Alpha returns the thumbs up, but Punk is pretty sure that Alpha doesn't quite understand why he's doing it. But he does it anyway because he's a good guy and a people pleaser, despite looking, sounding, and generally coming off as someone out of a jump scare nightmare. Good people for a literal horror story in motion. "Why is she mad this time?" Oh, whoops. "Why is she mad this time?" Punk asks. "Any clues?" "I don't know," Hades bemoans, waving his hands, pink static flicking off of his Warframe's fingers. "I tried asking her Cephalon, but her Cephalon's kind of a jerk." Punk doesn't know, actually. He's never heard Persephone's Cephalon talk. Even on the rare occasion she's allowed them onto her ship or see visual of her when talking to her on her ship through comms. "Okay, but have you tried asking her? Going direct to the source?" "Speaking of source." Punk starts ripping circuits out of a MOA. "Loot time." "That's not the best way to do that," Hades says, getting up and going over to him, nudging Punk over as he begins to more carefully extract robotic parts. Punk knows that, obviously, but now he's got Hades doing it for him, so it's a complete win. Punk preens. And then he quickly starts working on another MOA when the Alpha's 1,000-yard stare starts to dig into the back of his head with disapproval. "It's Persephone," Hades continues. "You can't just ask her about her feelings. You have to prompt her, trick her, bribe her, bully her." "That sounds really bad, my man."
It's true. No, it isn't. I ask her about her feelings all the time. Hades' hands freeze. You what? Yeah, I ask her how she feels about things and she answers me just fine. I mean, sometimes she yells and cusses at me, but she tells me, Punk says, neatly disconnecting some circuits. She's not as complicated as you make her sound. Okay, Percy's totally complicated, but not about talking about feelings. Wait, no, Percy's complicated about talking, but once you get her talking... No, hold on, I'm getting it, I swear I am. Getting Persephone to talk about things is like prying blood from stone, Hades says. Is that hard? Both of them turn to Alpha. Punk holds up Atlas's... Oh wait, hold up. That's the wrong person. Getting Persephone to talk about things is like prying blood from stone, Hades says. Is that hard? Both of them turn to Alpha. Punk holds up Atlas's finger at him. Don't. Bud, whatever you're about to do to show us something, I know you're going to do it to be well-meaning, but don't. Alpha's Warframe shimmers with void energy before returning to normal, and the Avara jumps up to parkour up to the top of one of the Corpus buildings. Anyway, just ask her, Punk says, turning back to Hades. I think you think it's hard because you've known her for, like, forever. So you've seen her go through all this change and complex stuff, but maybe you've built her up too high in your head. It's like, me and Sheik? Like, you and Percy can talk to Sheik about stuff and ask her to do things for you that I wouldn't do in, like, a billion years because I'm scared of her. You're scared of her? You can love someone crazy and still be terrified of them, Punk says. Unless they're the Empress and Alpha, in which case they've never been scared of anything ever. Hades seems to mull this over as he twirls stray wires around his fingers. Just ask her? You don't think it'd be weird or anything? Nah. Okay. Hades nods to himself. Okay, I'll ask her why she's mad. I'll just ask her. Out loud. With my words. It'll be fine. He falters. But what if she gets mad because I asked her? Shouldn't I already know? What if she gets mad that I asked her and I don't know? What if she gets mad and calls me a fool and kicks me into the ocean? What if... Dude, how would you know you haven't asked her and she hasn't told you anything? You're just going to sack yourself out, Hades. Go talk to her. You want me to go with you? Check in on y'all's progress from a mountain or something? Silent backup. Mostly silent backup. Only occasionally offering commentary backup. Hades is quiet for a bit before he hands over the extracted circuits. Can you make sure I don't turn around and run away before I get to her? Sure, Punk says, clapping Hades on the shoulder. Hades almost falls forward onto his face. Whoops, sorry, I forgot how strong Atlas is. Hey, have you tried Atlas yet? Naros is sand, Atlas is rocks. Maybe he'll be good with you too. FBI. Hello there, FBI. Sorry. And then a big paragraph of text. Ominous, ominous. Accomplish anything in life if you put your mind to it, and smart and important in life, even though these times are rough. Alright, cool. Thanks for the advice. You can accomplish anything that you put your mind to it. So you're saying that I can telepathically communicate to people without any external technology and without any facial movement. So you're saying that I can fly using only my own willpower, vertically upwards and not downwards, yes? Without jumping. Just lift up off the ground using only willpower, yes? That's what anything means. If you want to say you can accomplish anything, that means literally everything is off the table. Does that mean I can shoot radioactive rays from my fingertips like a supervillain? Well, technically I do, but it's not radioactive. It's just deadly energy. It's not radioactive. But thank you for the cheering up words. Don't you worry. Times, yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate the advice. You can fly? Yep, according to FBI, you can fly without being aided by technology. Test it out on your bed first, maybe. Try to jump off your bed before going straight to the cliff. After all, you could do it first try.
Anyway, but yeah, welcome to the stream, FBI. My name's Nebulux. We are reading a book today. We are reading Sleeves You Can Sing So Deep and Strong. The book is down in the description if you want to see it for yourself. It is a book about Warframe. So if you're familiar with the video game of Warframe, it's one of my favorite video games ever. So this book is going into a little bit of the lore of it while also following 6 characters, 2 of which are, I think, just direct parallels for the Tenno belonging to the author and one of the author's friends, partners? I'm not quite sure their relationship, but the story was written for the person who owns Judge. Hey! Thank you for subscribing! Woo, woo, woo! Hey! Now you got your name up there at the top. Ain't that cool? Nice indeed. Yeah! I like Warframe. So yeah, this is an episodic story. So even though we are on chapter 171, you don't need to know the previous chapters to enjoy the story because it is all character driven, and as long as you know who the characters are, you'll be able to follow the story no problem, I assume. Again, it's a Warframe story, so if you have any questions about terminology, like they talk about DAX in this chapter, if you don't know what a DAX is, feel free to ask me and I'll explain everything that you need to know if you are confused about stuff that's happening. But yeah, we've been reading this story for a while. Obviously, this is part 11, but yeah, it's a slice of life episodic story format, so hope you like it. Alright, chapter 171. How did you two meet? Sheik asks, as she watches Empress run her long fingers through Alpha's thick hair. Alpha's eyes flicker underneath his eyelids, but he remains fast asleep with his head on Empress's lap. On the Zaraman, Empress says, right after the ship took off. Less than a day in, I think. She smiles fondly. He saved me. Sheik had a hard time imagining the Empress needing saving, but they were all different before. Sheik is pretty sure not a single one of them resembles anything like the children they were before and after. All of them exist as 2 different people, before and after. Sheik sometimes isn't even sure if she counts the child she sometimes remembers from before as herself. Hades once told her about an old Earth mental exercise involving being a teleporter and definitions of death and self. Sheik didn't say anything then. She gave him a flippant answer or something, but it really messed her up a bit. She's pretty sure he asked her because that mental exercise messed him up, and he wanted to talk about it with someone who wasn't Persephone and those millions of identity issues. She probably isn't a good friend for dodging that conversation, but she never claimed to be the most well-adjusted person. She's just better at keeping issues close to the chest, or at least masked by everyone else's issues. I wasn't meant to be on that ship, Empress says. My sister, I've told you of her? She was the Dax? Yes, my brother and sister smuggled me on board. It's better to say that she might have been my sister. My father and her mother claimed that she was, but if you looked at them, there was no resemblance, and no one ever confirmed it. For whatever reason, it suited my father and her mother to pretend she was his. But she didn't like our father. Neither did our brother, and it became especially apparent when I was born. When my sister was assigned to the Zaraman, they decided to have her take me with her. Better I was out of our father's reach, I suppose. Empress shrugs. I don't remember our father anymore. I wouldn't know if it was the logical solution or the most feasible. In truth, I barely remember our brother either, or our sister. That's probably for the best, Sheik thinks. There's an ache in her shaped like her parents'. Sometimes she wishes it weren't there. Sometimes she understands that the shape of this ache is what she layered the shape of Sheik around. A base. It's a good base. It's held the Tenno that is Sheik up all these centuries. It keeps Joyce safe. But I wasn't supposed to be on that ship. I wasn't on the manifest, Empress says. I got caught. Alpha was close, though. He told them that I was his cousin. Alpha doesn't talk about it, but his entire family was on that ship. Workers, farmers, engineers, medics, crafters, civilians, soldiers. Almost all of them were on there. No one thought to check which one I was because of how many of his family was there.
I didn't get in trouble that day, or any day after, because I was always with him, or one of his many other cousins, or aunts, or uncles. His family was my family.
Empress hands still for a moment. Alpha's nose wrinkles in his sleep, and he rolls over, curling close towards her so that his head is against her stomach.
We've been together ever since. Empress smiles. We're all we have left.
Maybe there are other Tenno out there.
No, the Empress cuts in gently. No, we looked. We still look. We've asked Simars to keep an eye out, but he's never reported back anything we don't know already. All of them are dead. We are the only two who made it out as 10. It's all right. For the most part, we've accepted it as fact.
Corey doesn't know what to say to that, so she doesn't say anything. Sorry, did I say Corey? Sheik doesn't know what to say to that, so she doesn't say anything at all. Not for a while. Sheik thinks about Hades and Persephone, how they go back since before also. She thinks about how Hades told her he always knew her. Always, without question. Knew her with something inside of him. She's pretty sure that she doesn't have that with Jude. She wonders if that means something. She doesn't want it to. For all of the trash she gives Jude, she does still love him. Did you love him that entire time?
No, the Empress answers instantly. Sheik stares at her, surprised. No, I didn't love him the way I love him now for a long time. Not until after. Not until we were separated, I think.
Empress closes her eyes, black lashes fluttering as she thinks.
I loved him in a different way before. And I loved him in a different way immediately after. But as I was becoming Empress the Tenno, Empress the Seren, I started to love him in a new way. And when I couldn't see him, when I had to look for him all over, that started to change too. It took time. Centuries of time. Are you feeling insecure, Joy?
Sheik looks up sharply from where her gaze had drifted, tensing when the Empress's dark red eyes meet hers. So dark they're almost brown-black, aside from the faint sheen of void energy that rings the center of her iris.
You have years to grow something with... You have years to grow something with Jude, Empress says. Years. You shouldn't compare what you have to what I have, or even with what Persephone has. I would wager that if you asked Persephone, and she were inclined to answer, she would say that she finds her own growth falling short compared to yours or mine. And in some ways, I find myself lacking when compared to you and her.
Are you psychic? Sheik asks.
No, Empress says, but I am older than you. And I've had centuries with only my thoughts as company to work out the infinite ways a person can doubt themselves. That was not the sound I was expecting. Lots. There you go. Okay. Next chapter. How much time do we got? How are we looking on time?
Oh, we're only halfway through. Oh, sorry, bumped the mic there.
We are only halfway through. Cool, cool.
All right, next chapter.
Chapter 172.
Judges spent the better part of the day sitting on the coast attempting to catch Mercury. Thus far, he's only gotten Karkina, some Goopla, and the occasional Trolloc. He doesn't know why Nora wants 6 rare fish, but he is going to get them for her eventually, even if he has to stay here all day and night to do it. Corey's come around to check on him every now and again. She's brought him new dyes, some extra bait, and lunch. She's also played with his dog for him and kept the surrounding area relatively clear of Grenier activity. If Judge is here come nightfall, she'll probably make sure he doesn't get hit by the little sentients. She'd offered to get him some fish earlier, but there's no point if he isn't doing it himself. He's gotten 2 so far, but he's somehow missed the things every time they come close, scaring them off since. He needs a better vantage point, honestly, and it doesn't help that every time he thinks he has the perfect shot, the stupid fish suddenly turn a complete 180 and dart off as fast as they can possibly go into deeper parts of the water. He can see them, but his spear can't reach. He can somehow hit a Kondrak in the sky, but he can't get one dumb fish. Unbelievable. It's mid-afternoon. Judge has finally caught his third fish. It's small, looks a little sickly, but it counts. And he's been joined by Punk and Alpha. He's certain that Alpha isn't doing this for the Nightwave. The other Tenno must have passed Nora's 6 rare fish request 100 times over by now, but Punk is. Punk's only caught 1 so far. Alpha's gathering a small pile that his Kubro investigate and sometimes add to with freshwater fish.
Any tips? Punk asks Alpha for the 10th time.
Aim better,
Alpha replies for the 9th time. One of the times in between was a shrug before he reeled in a carcina that smacked Punk in the shin as it attempted to thrash its way back to the water, before Kubro clamped its jaws around the shell and crushed it.
How's the progress?
Corey says. He can hear her boots over gravel as she comes to join them.
Snacks! Punk crows out, tossing aside his fishing spear as he goes to Corey. It clatters on the ground, splashing a little.
Alpha first for having to put up with you two.
He hears Corey and Punk scuffle a bit. That's nice of you, Punk says.
Not me, Sheik, Corey says. The message is also from Sheik.
Nice of you to do it for her, Punk says. Alpha, come get your share so I can eat.
You're a dunce.
You're short.
I haven't hit puberty yet.
Percy, babe, I love you. You're my best friend. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're never gonna hit it. Judge sighs, letting their voices wash over him as he focuses on trying to spot some mercuries in the dark water. He throws out another bottle of blue dye. The sun is starting to hit, and he's halfway there. He can do this. Probably. Maybe they're being too loud? But he wasn't getting them when it was just him, either. At some point, Corey joins him. By joins him, he means stands next to him and watches him stare at the water and hope. He doesn't turn to look at her because he's a little nervous that she'll be judging him for his 3 mercrays when she probably did this in less than half an hour. Judge tunes into their conversation in time to hear Punk slurping something. How'd you keep the milk cold? Punk asks.
Secrets?
Corey says. Judge turns to Corey, horrified. She's already looking at him, and she looks so smug. She's got her mouth on the lip of a canteen, and when his eyes finally meets hers, she takes a long, long draft of it. No, Judge whispers, eyes widening. Persephone, no. Spit that out, you can't. As if to spite him, she tips it up almost completely vertical and starts chugging like there's no tomorrow. Judge lunges for it, but she releases the lip of the canteen from her mouth with a satisfied pop and tosses it over her shoulder. Empty. Persephone? Yes, Corey smirks, walking backwards as he tries to grab her, physically will the liquid out of her body. You can't. I just did. No, you can't. Persephone, your body literally cannot handle milk product. Judge learned this the hard way. Ortis had charged Judge with the solemn duty of doing his best to physically fight Corey over dairy and dairy products whenever they entered the equation. It's perhaps one of the few acts of violence that Ortis wants Corey to lose against. Corey's response is to dodge out of his reach. She hasn't returned to her Warframe yet, so he knows she's just playing with him. She does duck behind Alpha, who's slowly and quietly chewing on the end piece of some bread. He's tossed the rest towards some kuwakas a few yards away that are curious enough about Alpha to show themselves, but wary enough of the rest of them that they aren't willing to come closer. You're lactose intolerant? Punk says. Persephone, please, just... Judge has a shot of something that Ortis made for Corey to take whenever she willfully takes dairy. It's supposed to help her or something, but Judge has never seen her take it, so he doesn't know if it works. Just let me... Never, Corey announces, climbing up some rocks to get away from him. Dairy heaven now. Persephone, please, Judge begs, waving round the ampule that Ortis trusted him with. I'm begging you. I love this energy we're bringing, Punk says. You're going to be so miserable later. It's going to be so bad. That's a problem for future me, Corey replies. Judge turns to Alpha, who's probably the only one here who could possibly make Corey do anything by sheer force of existence. But Alpha's occupied with petting the tiny little rodents that are chewing on bread that he's shredding up for them and hand-feeding them. Your stomach is going to be so mad at you, Judge says. Why do you do this to yourself? Makes me feel alive, Corey deadpans, tucking her legs underneath herself as Judge tries to swat at her. Go catch your stupid fish. I've got dairy to fail to process.
don't like not having my mag noise. I'm gonna have to get it next time for sure. My mag noise. Also, is the background music for you guys okay with the waves? Is it too quiet? Is it too loud? Want to know if it's okay. Moving on to chapter 173.
Have you ever wondered who puts these here?
Punk asks. Corey delivers a swift kick to the back of Judge's legs. Don't get this one started. Judge, wisely, decides not to begin explaining his thesis on who puts syndicate medallions in enemy territory. It's closely related to his glass fish and his courier research. Corey is a fan of neither of those. Overall, Corey isn't a big fan of any of his theories, though she does listen to them and only mocks them a little bit overall. Judge is grateful for that because he knows that she thinks most of it is ridiculous. Now that he thinks about it, he's not sure if there are any of his theories she thinks holds water.
And how come the Gornier or Corpus or whoever don't pick these things up and toss them?
Judge continues to keep his mouth closed.
Well, they're dumb. Besides, I don't know either of them.
Oh wait, no, whoops, wrong person.
Well, they're dumb. Besides, I don't know how either of them see anything. They either have those dumb masks or those helmets on, Sheik says.
And yet it doesn't stop them from seeing me and attempting to snap me from halfway across the forest,
Punk grumbles. Your warframes trend towards neon blue, Corey says, and you run after things vomiting fire at them.
I see your point and I accept it.
Corey's leaning against some shipping crates, watching Suda operatives in their skin-tight suits with the weird purple circuitry.
We're doing better at this, Judge says. Both of them look alive and well, and in one piece even.
They don't have a comms line open with the operatives. Judge rarely ever opens one, and he's pretty sure Corey's never even considered opening one before. He thinks Sheik might have a line open with them, but she hasn't said anything about it. Punk definitely doesn't have a line open with them, because all of his standing is with Steel Meridian and Red Veil. Who's saying this? It's not Judge. That's Corey? So who's saying that? It might be Punk. I don't know who's saying this. That's Corey. So this is either so it's not Corey, it's either Judge, Punk, or Sheik. One of three people. Whatever. I'll just read it in normal voice, and whoever it happens to be, oh well. I like it when you get right up behind them, or like you walk next to them and they don't see you. So you can do a sneak attack, and it doesn't even feel like a sneak attack because you're right next to them, not even behind them, and you're totally oblivious about it. I like shooting them when they come through the doors, and then there's a pile of bodies right in front of a door, or inside the door, holding it open. In general, I like shooting through tunnels or hallways. She really does. She'll spend hours shooting a single bullet down a tunnel, waiting for some unsuspecting Grenier to walk past so she can get in the one shot. Judge has literally fallen asleep on her doing that. He'd be sitting there waiting and fall asleep in his transference chamber, and then he'll startle awake, have to get back into transference, and she'd still be there, waiting, perfectly still and ready to take the shot. He has no idea how she maintains that level of focus and concentration. It's probably something similar to how he gets when he's working on researching a theory he has, but worse, because she's just staring at a small patch of visible walkway that doesn't even change for, sometimes, literal hours. Corey's focus is completely indomitable.
You're a beast,
Punk says. I'm a Tenno, Corey replies.
You're adorable,
Sheik says, turning over a datum fragment in her hands before whisking it away into her inventory.
Come on, we've still got 2 more data points to hit up for Suda before we can go.
We should split up, Punk says for the 10th time. It'd be so much faster this way.
And for the 10th time, the three of them give very firm no's as a response.
Oh, come on. Spy missions are boring, and the operatives move so slow.
It's true, they've all said it before, but
if we split up, that means someone has to deal with you,
Sheik says, so Judge doesn't have to.
That means someone has to keep you from setting off alarms while also hacking a console and trying to avoid tripping security themselves. I don't know how I managed it all these years, but now that I don't have to do that, I'm not going back to it. So shut up and deal, Punk.
Punk groans, reaches out and starts tugging on Corey's Sayandana.
You agree with me, right, Percy? Splitting up is definitely faster, Corey says, but you'd set off an alarm the second you get out of sight, and then we'd have bursts on our butt non-stop all the way to extraction. I don't know about you, but I don't think I can keep those two operatives with their Arsenal standard unmodded energy beams alive through a stampede of bursas. Also, I would rather die than say the words, "You're right," to you. Thank you for considering the lives of the operatives. Hades would be disappointed if I left them to their deaths again. You are a beast. I'm a Tenno.
You're adorable. Let's go. Sheik yanks Punk's Sayandana. Come on. Yes, less yapping, more hacking. Let's move. I hate Jupiter. Salad V and his weak inbred chin annoy the heck out of me. And the longer we're here, the more chances we get of him popping up and pissing me off so much I need to chase after his pasty white butt.
Who's saying this? I'd rather do that, honestly. At least that goes fast. It goes real fast at our level. It's like something you do for a warm-up.
A warm-up? At what cost? Dealing with his annoying jabber? There's no one. Oh, I got it. There's no one who'd rather do that and have to listen to him. Actually listen to him. All of them grimace. He is very chatty. And it's not even the fun kind of chatty where you can mock him for it. He's just all around cringe-inducing, and fighting him is a slog through wanting to put your head in your hands and feeling like you've got something slimy wiggling around inside your suit. Yuck. All around yuck. As Corey would say, gross. Nasty even. All right, we're going pretty far. So, I think next stream, 2 more chapters, and then we have 10 left. I think we'll be able to finish the book next stream. That's exciting. That is really exciting. I don't know what I'm going to be reading after we're done with this series. But hey, we got 10 chapters left. Woot, woot, woot. Well, no, we don't have 10 chapters left. We have 12 chapters left. We are in chapter 174.
Can you imagine what the Empress could do with a destroyer-class ship? Fully crewed? Capable of taking out galleons and transports? Punk asks, dazed as he stares up at the clear blue sky. I'm pretty sure the only thing that's ever stopped her was that she physically cannot go after big stuff with a tiny Arcwing. And even that's iffy, because I know she's done it during the old war and stuff.
I don't want to imagine it, Sheik answers instantly. Let's not imagine it. And that's a lie, because really the only thing holding her back is Alpha being a generally good guy who likes to fish and doesn't have any interest in waging war on the rest of the universe.
The Tenno in question is currently fishing downstream from them. No one can tell from his expression or tone of voice, but the last they checked in with him, he seemed fine. For all purposes, he seemed content, at least. Probably not unhappy with his self-appointed role of provider for the entire population of Cetus.
Good thing she doesn't have a clan, Punk says.
She has a clan?
Oh wait, no.
Good thing she doesn't have a clan, Punk says. She has a clan.
Sheik and Punk yelp, startling up and turning onto Hades. Punk jabs his finger at the other Tenno.
Stop. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. You're pulling an alpha on us. It's not appreciated. Stop with that, okay, bud? Okay?
Hades, Judge. Sheik has a hand in her thick pink hair. Don't start in on that. I will throw you into the radiated water and make sure Alpha doesn't go in after you. We've got the one walking jump scare. We don't need 2.
Sorry.
Judge rocks backs on his heels, hands up in defense.
I thought you knew I was here. You accepted my squad request and everything.
Punk and Sheik quickly tap back into their Warframe systems to check on their squad information. Both Persephone and Hades have been added.
It was probably Alpha, Sheik says. We haven't been paying attention for a while. Where's your girl?
Hades looks around, uncertain, before waving an arm in a general direction.
Around?
Ominous. Sounds about right.
I'm sure we'll know she's coming if we hear screaming or gunfire.
Or maybe we won't know. Or maybe we won't. Who knows? We'll just hit her up in the squad comms. Alright, focus. Empress says...
Okay, I think I swapped those two voices. Okay. I'm gonna go back. Hades looks around, uncertain, before waving an arm in a general direction.
Around? Ominous. Sounds about right.
I'm sure we'll know she's coming if we hear screaming or gunfire.
Or maybe we won't. Who knows? We'll just hit her up in the squad comms. Alright, focus. Empress has a clan? Yeah, you didn't know?
Hades tilts his head, blinking.
You've known her longer. I always thought she was solo, except for Alpha. If there was a clan who had her on their roster, I feel like they'd be pretty well known. You know, bragging rights. She's the only one in it, except for Alpha, Hades says. But they've got a full dojo and everything. She'll definitely be able to get a dry dock installed at some point. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Okay, but how do you know this stuff? That's probably Sheik.
Okay, but how do you know this stuff?
Both Tenno look at Hades expectantly, because they have known her longer than he has, and they didn't know this bit of trivia this entire time.
Oh, we were out doing some hijack missions, and in between drops she said she needed to stop by her dojo really quick. I went with her, so we didn't have to reform with the squad afterwards. It's pretty nice in there. It's a full dojo? Labs and everything? Yeah, and everything is fully researched. She let me take a look and copy some blueprints my clan didn't have.
Hades' head bobs as he talks.
You could ask for Alpha to take you and show you around. They don't mind. I mean, we're friends, so I don't think they'd mind.
Are they really the only two people in it?
Yeah. Empress said she made it because she didn't want other people inviting her to theirs. She thought it'd be unfair, because then Alpha would join, and it wouldn't be right for both of them to be in a clan. Especially since they don't have any interest in controlling rails and dark sectors, Hades explains. So the two of them are in their own clan, so no one asks them about it.
Whoa, that's smart. They have all the research? All of it?
That doesn't sound right. There's only two of them.
No. Swapped it.
Whoa, that's smart. They have all the research? All of it?
That doesn't sound right. There's only two of them. And all the search takes huge amounts of resources and credits.
But those two are Alpha and Empress.
Hades points downstream to the small mountain of steadily growing fish.
Between the two of them, they've definitely got the focus and drive. Alpha's feeding his own population single-handedly at this point.
That's very true.
So, I guess Empress might take to the stars and promptly take all the stars, Punk says, grinning. Hey, you think she'd let me on her crew? I want to see all this happening in real time.
To slingshot you at other ships and hope you do all your damage and unleash your bad luck over there, probably.
Sheik rolls her eyes.
You think she'll let me use her ship to haul cargo? I'm using a third-party cargo service right now, and this could probably cut down on my credits.
You should still pay her for letting you use her ship.
I mean on security costs, Sheik says. I will definitely still pay her for use of her ship to transport goods. But now this way the security costs would be bundled in. No one's going to attack the Empress's ship.
Sentients might.
They might, and then they'd be dead. And if they mess up her ship, then she'll go after them to carve out the difference in their blood. You guys do remember that's why she got so famous, right? Carving sentients into pieces?
Another good point.
Well, if the recent incidents going on around Jupiter is anything to go by, she's gonna have a lot of new sentients to carve up, Punk grimaces. I'm surprised she hasn't parked her ship in Jupiter's orbit, honestly.
Alright, that was part of the sound thing. That was just throwing that out there. It played earlier in the stream. Okay, so I think I've actually gotten to the part in the story where I have caught up with the stuff I read because I don't remember this chapter. So, cool. Then these upcoming chapters are all new for me. That's exciting. So yeah, obviously this chapter is from Rising Tides was announced, or I guess Empyrean, when Empyrean was announced.
Or I guess no, Empyrean was announced back with Fortuna. This is probably when the Rising Tides update came out, I would guess. So yeah. Fun fact, I don't know if the Rising Tides quest is MR locked. Because you can build a Cephalon Psi at research levels at MR 0. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It might be MR locked. I think the quest might be MR locked. I don't know. Anyway, I should test it out. Let's test it out. By Googling stuff on the wiki. I'll do it later. Thank you for the compliments, Chris. Glad you're liking it. For sure. But yeah. Oh wait, no, I vaguely remember this next chapter. Maybe I just blocked the previous one out of my memory. For some reason. Meh. Oh well. Also, I did want to clarify something earlier to Chris specifically because it was talking about stuff that it was talking about stuff that happened after the sacrifice, and I wanted to say something like, "Oh, this means this," but then that would have been a spoiler, and I don't even want to mention the thing that needs to be clarified because me mentioning it is a spoiler. So I'm just gonna change the topic and not mention anything for clarification. But there you go. Oh right, I should probably explain what Rising Tides is. It is the Railjack quest that introduces Railjack. So giant capital. You've played Railjack, Chris. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was added to the game semi-recently. So there you go. We're catching up to current day, which is very exciting. When was this? This was last updated in 2019. September 29th, 2019. So it looks like the author has not played through the new, or if they've played through the new war, they have not updated the story to reflect it. They probably won't. They've stopped writing the series two and a half years ago. But they regularly update other stories that they are working on. So I think they might have just stopped playing Warframe. It's possible. Sus? No, you, Chris? I think, how dare? You sus. Son Goku, hello, welcome to the stream. We are reading a bedtime story, woot woot woot. We're reading Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong, which is a Warframe story. So if you're familiar with Warframe at all, there you go. You'll have a story. This is an episodic slice of life chapter styled. Okay, what am I trying to say? This is a slice of life episodic style chapter story, I guess. So each chapter is sort of self-contained. So you're welcome to pop in, listen for a chapter, and pop out, and you won't be missing out on plot points because the only overarching plot is character development. And the characters are exquisite. I love them to pieces. So there you go. Hope you like it. Stuck for an hour. Wait, like the car broke down or it was traffic? Either way, sounds terrible. I'm sorry to hear about that. But hey, hopefully I can help raise your spirits with the book reading. Ba-da-da-da. Alright. Moving on to chapter 175. And again, if you guys, as you can see by the stuff over here, feel free. Oh, the car battery dried. Ooh. Ouchies. Well, at least with the battery, you can get a jump if there are people nearby. Sam Witwicky on the engine. I know that's the guy from Transformers. What did he do to an engine? I haven't seen all the Transformers movies, though, so maybe I'm missing out on some. It's also been a really long time since I've seen the Transformers movies. More than meets the eye. So. But hey, I got the reference partially. Sort of, maybe-ish. I don't know. Alright. Again, as I was saying, if you saw 3, you'll know what I mean. Did I see 3? I might have seen 3. It was a very long time ago. 3 was the one where it had the business guy who inherited Megatron as a client, right? That's the only thing I remember about it.
that one line where he was like, "You think it's bad? I inherited an evil giant robot as my family business partner," or something. That's all. Yeah, oh, there were nukes at one point, and Megatron had a cape. I remember vague bits and snatches. Dark of the Moon. Yes, Dark of the Moon. Yeah. Stuff on the moon. I do remember stuff happening on the moon. It was a really long time ago, don't blame me. I do like Transformers, I promise. I like Blur. Blur's cool. Blur, as far as I know, didn't show up in any of the Bay movies, so hey. True fan? Not really. I haven't seen all the animated TV shows. There's too many of them. As you got Transformers Energon, Transformers Cybertron, Transformers Beast Wars, Transformers Animated, Transformers. Isn't there one that's called More Than Meets the Eye or something? Bumblebee's the best one. Bumblebee is a good one. Yes, I agree. I did see that one recently. I do remember that one. I do like the Bumblebee movie. That one was great. It was very wholesome. Even though the main characters did some very dumb stuff at certain points. But the movie was good. I agree. Those two Decepticons were never named during the movie. I had to read the end credits to find out that they were, who was it? One of them was called Dropkick. I don't remember what the other one's name was, but like the whole movie, and I rewatched it later and I listened for them to say their names at any point in the movie, and they never did at all. They were never named during the entirety of the movie. Pathetic. Oh, Bumblebee is the best Transformer. Got you. You didn't like the movie. Got you. The new movies, there's a new one? I did not know that. Huh. I did like Bumblebee. Let's see. I liked okay. Hot take. I liked Transformers Animated. I know everyone hates that show. Everyone loves hate. It's a show they love to hate, but I like it. I really like that one. They're getting a Volkswagen van? Has that ever existed before? That doesn't sound like it would. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. See, you say Volkswagen van, the only thing I can think of is that guy from the Cars movie. What was his name? The guy who was like painted green and had his like, what was it, eco-friendly gas or something like that? Hey, you like TFA? Nice. I like, what was it? It was not Prowl. Swindle! Swindle was great. Oh, man. He was just a sleazy businessman making business. And who else is great? Everyone. All the Starscreams. Anyway, I need to stop talking about TFA and just move on to the book reading. Are you going to play Elden Ring? I still have yet to see a trailer for that. I do not know anything about the game. I have not looked into it in the slightest. I will figure that out. Probably not for a while, because it's new. I don't play new games, because they pricey. They got all the moolahs going on. And I'm thrifty. I do not spend $60 on a video game. Please and thank you. I'll pay $30 for a video game. That makes sense. But 60, 70, 80? Nah, fam. Off-road Bumblebee Camaro. Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, well, I'll look into that then. All right. I'm dropping the subject. I'm gonna read the book. Oh, no. Skyline R33 is a car. I am not familiar with what a Skyline R33 is. I'm not a car or plane person. I don't know what all the serial numbers mean. Sorry. But hey, congratulations on getting your car. Terracon. I know what a Minicon is, and a... What was the other one? So Minicon and Minibot. I know what a Terracon. I'm assuming that's one that was born on Earth, probably. Is a Nissan. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm assuming that's a Transformer that was created on Earth and has never been to Cybertron. I assume. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the term. Alright, but hey, moving on. I am reading the book now. I will read any chapters that are posted in the chat after each chapter is done. So hey, feel free to keep chatting and I will get back to you through the backlog of stuff when the chapter's over.
All right, chapter 175. Corey feels someone. Oh yeah, and then again, this is a Warframe story. So if you're not familiar with Warframe and you would like lore clarifications, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to explain what the heck is going on. Chapter 175. Corey feels someone watching her. At first, she thinks it's Umbra being Umbra again, or maybe Ordis has set one of his specters to watch her up close rather than through the orbiter systems. Both happen on a regular enough basis that this isn't unusual. It could also be one of her sentinels or a Kavat. The Kubro don't normally watch her sleep because they're sound asleep and snoring away with her. The Helmut Charger doesn't watch much of anything except for the fish. She turns her head towards whatever is watching her and opens her eyes. Ordis better have a good excuse for waking her up. Pink, magenta, glowing. Void. Hades. Judge? Corey croaks out, blinking away sleep as she stares at Judge. He's leaning over her, elbows on the edge of the bed as he stares at her. What the heck? Judge says quietly, voice a little hoarse. Don't understand how you can sleep so easily after being asleep for literal hundreds of years. Hundreds of years of being unconscious and in suspended animation, and you can just, lie down? Close your eyes? Turn your mind off? Corey drags her hand over her face as Judge talks. Usually, Judge is very good at handling his insomnia. And then there are stretches of time where he goes absolutely insane because of it, like he's been pushed off the deep end into electrified and irradiated water. It's where his most wild of theories are born, and it's also where he starts talking the weirdest, dumbest, most out there trash Corey has ever heard come out of a sentient being's mouth. Judge, sleep debt and overstock aren't real. You know that. He knows it, yet he conveniently chooses to ignore that fact as He knows it, and yet he conveniently chooses to ignore that fact and her as he continues to just stare down at her, unblinking. It'd be disturbing if she wasn't so used to this kind of thing. Look at you, Judge whispers, bright magenta eyes focused on her. All you do is, you don't even lie down sometimes. Sometimes you just lean against something so you aren't completely upright. All you need is that, 10, 15? 15 degrees of difference, and there you go. Out. Gone. Instant. Bye-bye world. Hello, eternal darkness. What is that? Seriously. How long have you been awake? Does it matter anymore, Corey? It doesn't. After a set amount of arbitrary measurements made up based on fault math and logic, it all stops mattering. Nothing matters. How can you ascribe a meaning to anything in this world? Is there meaning in a set of coincidences? Are we all just superstitious and making false conjectures? After all, we're just hallucinations made by jelly suspended in water. Do you need me to sedate you? Do I need me to sedate you? I'm not wrong. Judge slowly turns towards her fish tanks. The Norgs know, and that's why they're going to be able to pull one over the rest of you. Not me, I'm prepared. Maybe not the Empress either. She listens to me when I warn her about the impending revolution and upset of social strata via the Norgs and their two brains and deceptive facial expressions. Meanwhile, there's you, and Punk, and Sheik, and everyone else. I warned you all about the upcoming coup and 1,000 other things, and yet you sleep so easily at night. Nothing bothers you at all. No worries, no anxieties. Just bliss, just instant, blissful, silent sleep. He's so out of it that he's forgotten that Corey's got so many problems that she's had to teach her body to sleep on command through years of conditioning. When he finally passes out and gets sleep, he's going to wake up remembering all of this and feeling like a jerk. And if he doesn't remember, Corey's going to show it to him and make sure he feels like a jerk. Judge might be the most important person in her life, but that doesn't mean he's going to get away with waking her up to talk trash because he's too dumb to know his own limits and not push past his eyes falling closed with literal shots of adrenaline and glucose. He only gets this way if he pushes past his body's initial attempt at knocking him out. This is what he gets for being stupid, and this isn't Corey's problem.
Ortis, I thought I told you to stop letting him on the ship when he's like this.
Corey grumbles into the pillow, knowing full well Ortis will hear her even if her voice is muffled. Tenno Hades is deceptively good at utilizing void techniques under pressure and while experiencing severe sleep deprivation. Operator? Of course he is. Corey breathes in deep and wills herself to not wake up any further. If Corey gets too far from the fuzzy area, that means sleep is close at hand. That means she's awake for real and she isn't going to fall asleep again without a lot of concentration. I wish you could remember to be this good at fighting as a Tenno when you have more sleep in you. Corey throws the blankets back, shifting backwards on the bed to make room. She hears Isha whine, legs kicking a little before he settles into a new position. She grabs Judge by the front of his shirt and pulls him onto the bed, throwing the blanket back over him. She keeps a careful distance between them, moving a pillow so that they don't accidentally touch while asleep. She'd rather not accidentally fry him on accident. Judge stares at the ceiling, eyes bright in the dark. Corey puts a pillow over her face and resists the temptation to hold it down and smother him into unconsciousness. He probably wouldn't even fight her too much. If you wake me up again, Corey says instead, I will personally make sure that my Norgs are the ones that take you out. Judge shivers, eyes darting between the tanks. Corey, no. Judge, shut up. All right. Chapter 176. This is 10 chapters from the end. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're getting there. Chapter 176. I don't know how I should feel, Judge says, sounding a touch mournful as he touches her orbiter's walls. Corey looks up from where she was attempting to drag Joy the Kavat. The pink menace is learning too much from Ugly. She lies down wherever she wants and makes herself a pest, and thinks it's a fun game to make Corey drag her somewhere else where someone won't trip on her or fall down when she lunges to swipe at their ankles. By someone, she means Judge, because Joy hasn't been corrupted enough to think that Corey is a viable target for such antics. Joy is reacting to Corey's attempt to move her like any stubborn Kavat would, by somehow stretching out her physical mass like she's some kind of melted down plastic or rubber, turning into one long stretch of pink that somehow isn't moving at all. You never know how to feel because you're a fool, Corey says, grunting as she attempts to get Joy off the floor. Joy makes a face that looks like a squashed up version of Ugly. Corey is banning Ugly from interacting with her companions. Ugly is the worst influence. Sure, it took a few years for the corruption to start, but it started. Judge laughs. Your Kavat looks like mine when she does that. I know. I hate it. And I meant I don't know how I should feel about all this. Judge makes a gesture to her entire ship. I don't know what that means. Am I supposed to care? Judge, get her legs. Judge makes no motion to help, and Joy's hind paws wiggle as she stretches out her toes, claws making ominous clicking on the floor. Your ship used to be so empty, utilitarian, Judge explains. Now you've got displays and all these sculptures, and now you're putting up fishing trophies. Only for servofish, Corey says. I'm not putting an eel on my wall. Those are for eating. That's a waste. And servofish don't have their own purpose? Not for me, they don't. Much like how you aren't serving any purpose to me right now, since you aren't helping me move my cat. What are you here for anyway? I can't come over to see you. Judge smiles at her, looking unfairly charming and nice. Corey scowls, looking down at her Kavat as the Kavat raises a paw to bat at her face. Judge laughs. It's also nice. Corey would use words that aren't nice, except those words are too much for her right now. Things like wonderful and great and sweet and beautiful and handsome. Those aren't words Corey uses. It seems strange to use those words on anyone, let alone Judge. Those aren't Judge words. Judge's words are clever and quick and fool and stubborn and innovative and electric. His words are important and critical and central and vital and worthy. His words are words that cut down to the vitality of someone, of Corey. They aren't, or they weren't, words that described a smile, or the cadence of a laugh, or the shell of an ear, or the fall of hair, or the line of a nose.
Not if you're going to stand around and laugh at me.
Would it help if I walked around and laughed at you?
Get off my ship.
Hey!
Punk jogs up to the familiar Inaro standing on top of some solidified coolant, fishing spear raised.
Good fishing? It's alright. Do you have any spare dye?
Hades answers. The speakers on his Warframe must be frosted over a bit because his voice comes out a little muffled. As Punk is handing him some fishing dye, he opens a communication channel.
I've been looking for Percy for about an hour. Her signal's around here, but I can't find her. Is she in a cave or something? I swear I checked them all.
Hades shakes his head, free hand pointing upwards as he throws his spear into the water, swearing when he misses.
Arkwing?
Percy? Our Percy? Voluntarily in an Arkwing?
Sort of,
Hades says, slowly walking towards a different section of coolant.
She's not flying around anywhere. She's just high up and waiting. For what? Easy pickings.
Hades' voice sounds like one giant eye roll.
She figured out that if she gets into her Arkwing and gets high enough, that the dropships don't spot her. She can park herself in one position and wait with her sniper.
Inaros looks up and points after Bit.
If you have something with a scope, zoom in that area and you'll find her.
She hasn't run out of ammo?
She flies down now and again to pick some up and then goes back. I think she's deeply enjoying picking off the corpus, knowing they have no way of seeing her or getting her back.
Sounds like Percy.
What were you looking for her for?
I was going to ask her to run some survival missions with me and Sheik, Punk says. We could really use her natus. You want to come along?
Relic runs?
Yeah.
No thanks. I really need to get some fishing done. I need a lot of batteries and I keep missing.
Just ask Alpha or Percy.
I want to do it myself though.
Hades huffs.
It's not the same if someone does it for me. Besides, I can do this. I can definitely do this.
If Hades' Tenno body was here, Punk would ruffle his sweet little head.
Good luck finding her. She's probably going to fly away from you if she sees you coming.
Sure, but I'm the better flyer, Punk says. And since I come bearing a message from Sheik, she'll probably let me approach. And she does like relic runs, if only so she can wave the ducats at Katir and mockingly hoard them so he can't have them. I know the guy's condescending and all, but what's her beef with him?
He's condescending. Does she need any more reason? It's Persephone, Punk.
My storytelling is the best? Well, technically, Chris, this is not my storytelling. I am just reading the book. The person who's doing the real storytelling is heartslogos. Again, link in the description if you guys wanted to see the original work, the bit that I'm reading right now, because I am censoring swear words and stuff. Hopefully it's fluent enough, or hopefully it's seamless. That's the word. Hopefully it's seamless enough but that nobody notices. But I don't notice them until like a millisecond before I have to say them, so sometimes I can't come up with a good enough word fast enough, so oh well. But yeah, the original uncensored version is down there in the comments, and it's a very good book. If you like it, go give it a kudos on Archive of Our Own, or share it or something. It's a good book. But thank you for the compliment regardless. Chapter, wait, how much time do we have? We probably have enough time. Oh yeah, we have enough time for one more chapter. Ah, you like the voice acting. Got you. Alright, well thank you again. Appreciate it. Chapter 177. Judge has seen Necros frames before. He has seen Necros Prime frames before. He has seen Necros frames with alternate skins and patterns and helmets and attachments. It does not prepare him for when Kore gets her hands on a Necros Prime, walks up to him, and stands right in front of him with every single detail in full, crisp, undeniable view. This is what Barokatir would look like if he was a Warframe, Kore declares.
Just because Necros has an ability called Desecrate doesn't mean...
And then Judge has to stop there, because Corey casually raised Necros's leg, and, Typo. I messed up, sorry. And then Judge has to stop there because Corey's casually raised Necros' leg and planted her foot up on top of a container. It's a move you've seen her do as Nidus plenty of times. Something about being a Nidus makes her act bigger, bolder, more punk. Spread legs, crossed arms, the occasional cock tip, putting her leg up on objects, sprawling out when seated. But as a Necros, she's doing it on purpose, he knows. He absolutely knows. She wiggles Necros' toes. Judge stares, counts, stares, counts again, stares some more. And then something flaps into view. Wiggles, writhes, flops, twirls. Judge stares in horror at the thing attached to Necros' pinky as it flops around as she wiggles her fingers at him. It's like a long, flaccid tube. And then his mind catches on Necros' torso, which is strangely lumpy and uneven. And from there, it's just an avalanche of sensations and details that make his mind start crying. Oh gosh, Judge chokes out, taking a stuttering step backwards. Void. Corey laughs. She's using Necros' default voice synthesizer, so it comes out very, very sinister. He doesn't know where to start. The 4 toes, the extra long pinky that doesn't even move on its own. The bone just stops as normal, and then the flesh keeps going without the bone or something like that. And it's got a weighted cap at the end, and he has no... Necros' insides look like they tried to be outsides. There's just so much going on here right now, Judge moans, raising a hand to his head, even though it's not going to help him. He wants to throw his own sand in his eyes and maybe blind himself for a while. Maybe he should throw sand at Corey and run for it. Toes, Corey declares, wiggling said toes. Look at them. You and I match now. No, we don't. I'm not in the default Inaros frame anymore, Judge points out. Oh, no, please. Stop, please. Corey laughs. She just laughs at him and then moves to touch him, and Judge can't back away fast enough. Instead of being hurt or asking him what's wrong, Corey just keeps laughing because she knows what's wrong. What's wrong with your hands? I don't know what you mean. Don't do this to me. Do what to you? Judge gestures to all of her. That. What about that? Corey asks, strutting forward, and Judge doesn't know where to look. The horrible, horrible wag of Necros' excess pinky finger flesh, the single glowing toenail, the lumpy midsection. It's all bad. It's all just bad. Judge's back is up against a literal wall as her Necros stops a mere arm's length away and rests a hand against the wall next to his Inaros' head. He feels the thing lightly grazing his Inaros' shoulder. Please don't touch me with that, whatever it is. Hades. Corey's voice is entirely too delighted for this. Judge's skin feels like it's crawling in a very bad way. Not in the good way, in a very, very, very bad way. You've scratched my Nidus's brain. His literal brain. But that's because it made you happy, Judge protests. It's a completely different scenario. Brain scratches make you feel good. There's nothing about your hand situation that can possibly make either of us feel good. You're right, Corey agrees, shrugging his shoulder. But it's so bad it comes around as a good again. Look at it, Hades. Look at it. What's it even for? No one knows. It's just there. An extra half a foot of weird flaccid flesh that I don't even have any control over at all. Moved only by gravity and external force. Don't you hate it? Can you cut it off? No idea. I'm not going to mess up the Warframe by cutting off its extra long pinkies, though. Judge slowly reaches up, pinching the tip. A metal tip of the finger, brushing over his Inaros' shoulder and moves it away from him. It looks so wrong. He does his best not to think about how it feels. Ugh. You're enjoying this too much. I'm in transference with the Warframe. As much as you don't want to look at it, I'm currently in it. If I don't enjoy this, I have to consciously be aware of the horror that is Necros' extremities. He hopes Corey can pick up on the fact that he's staring at Necros' long, narrow torso and the strip of ropey flesh that's extended from chest to groin. You are a walking horror show, and I can't believe I'm saying that after literally scratching your Warframe's brain for your pleasure and dealing with your Nidus' everything.
including having your nidus attach an umbilical cord to me. Me, my own Warframe. How do you always get these Warframes?
Corey shrugs. Does it bring you any relief to know that I'm still not a Necros main?
So much.
It means that as soon as Corey's done maxing Necros Prime, he'll probably never have to deal with seeing the Warframe again. Unless they're doing some kind of resource run for Argon or something.
Can you give me a warning next time?
Promise, Corey says after a moment. And then, just as Judge lets out a sigh of relief and moves to walk around her, she raises up her other hand, pinky extended, except for the part that hangs down, folded and limp past her wrist. Pinky, promise, Corey says darkly.
No.
Yes.
Persephone, please, I'm begging you.
She doesn't move. Judge gags as he slowly raises his Inaros' hand and locks his pinky with hers. The excess whatever feels so nasty. So wrong. So, ugh.
Please.
Judge whimpers. She shakes his pinky with hers and steps back.
Come on,
let's get this frame maxed so I can get back to having you scratch my brain. There's the sound alert. I'm waiting for it to happen. All right. How much time do we got? Do we have time for one more, or is that it? We got time for one more. Okay, last chapter of the day. And then we're going to be heading out. Chapter 178. Dude, guys, we are absolutely finishing this thing next time I stream this. So 2 weeks from now. Boom, boom, boom. 2 weeks from now, this is going to be done. We're going to have to like throw a party or something when it happens. Whew. Chapter 178. Who's saying this? That's Judge. That's Sheik. Okay, that's Sheik. Sheik is saying this. I figured it out. I have a brain. All right, chapter 178.
All right, so while the Murder Squad TM is out doing Murder Squad TM business...
Why do you keep saying TM? What's TM?
Judge asks, frowning as Sheik tugs him and Alpha by their wrists onto her orbiter.
Also, why are you calling them the Murder Squad?
Sheik stops, letting go of their wrists and giving Judge an indulgent look.
Trademark, Judge. It means trademark.
What's a...
And they're the Murder Squad because the three of them live for murder. Thrive on it, really. You ever see your girl look as satisfied as she does when she's just blown the head off of some unsuspecting Grenier from an entire mountain away?
It's not murder.
Oh, whoops.
It's not murder.
Both of them turn to Alpha. Empress, he says.
That's true. You can't call what the Empress does murder. Persephone and Punk, absolutely, yes. It's wholesale slaughter like some kind of meatpacking floor. But I don't think that word applies any kind of...
Wait. No. This is Judge.
Ripperoni. That's true. You can't call what Empress does murder. Persephone and Punk? Absolutely, yes. It's wholesale slaughter like some kind of meatpacking floor. But I don't think a word that implies any kind of legality or moral conflict applies to the Empress.
Judge picks at a hangnail on his thumb.
Kind of like people just die in her wake? Wait, wake means after, right? What's a word for all around? Before, during, after? Is there a word for that one?
Okay, you're right.
Sheik's lips twist as she thinks.
I don't know what the Empress does, and I don't have a better word for the utter destruction of matter and tangible objects. So we're sticking with Murder Squad TM, and between the three of us, we'll just privately know that it's mostly about Persephone and Punk, and Empress is just tacked on for the ride. Anyway, while they're doing whatever it is they do that's murder plus Empress, I have something cool to show you guys. I got my ship remodeled. Come on.
You can remodel the interior of your orbiter?
Judge asks, following Sheik up towards the main area of her ship. Alpha shrugs, sedately following behind them.
Take a look,
Sheik says, gesturing towards her main ship area. It looks open and bright. Judge's eyes scan the familiar but changed area as he takes a step towards her incubator and then... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Space. Space. Lots of space. So much space. All the black
all this space. Black, yawning, infinite, looming. Judge swears to every star and planet and void that he can hear the roaring of it in his ears as he gapes up at the all see-through ceiling.
Space window,
Sheik says. It feels like all that black darkness is pressing in on him, sucking him in and spreading out and stringing his brain out like sugar candy.
Too big,
Judge squeaks out, feeling his pulse start to pound in his palms and sweat break out, backpedaling until his head hits something solid, until his back hits something solid, blessedly solid. He presses his entire body up against the wall of Sheik's ship, feeling the firm and anchoring presence of her orbiter's engines and the various pipes and vents through the wall. He stares up at the window, mind gibbering, the words too big, and increasingly... His mind gibbering the words too big, at increasingly high and fast speeds.
Whoa, hey there!
Sheik's hand lands on his shoulder and his hand automatically goes up to cling to her.
You okay? What's wrong?
Big,
Judge says, squeezing her wrist.
Space, all of it right there.
You're scared of space?
Sheik repeats incredulously.
Big stuff,
Judge answers, tearing his eyes away from the window to look at her.
It's too big, Joy. There's too much there.
Judge, it's space. The absence of stuff.
There's too much of it, whatever you want to define it as.
I thought you were claustrophobic.
That too, Judge says. You can be both.
Judge looks past her to Alpha.
You're fine?
Alpha blinks.
Yes.
Sheik frowns, turning to Alpha.
He's right. You're the one who's scared of the ocean. Why are you cool with space? Space is just more ocean.
Alpha tilts his head.
The ocean is unknown. Things get big in the ocean. Different boundaries.
Judge and Sheik look at each other.
Alpha,
Sheik says slowly,
all of those things apply to space. There are tons of things that can grow in between stars and get freaky. There are literally no boundaries in space. None at all.
Judge pushes down the white noise that threatens to surge along with the static electricity he can feel building over his skin.
Joy, please, not helping me.
She squeezes his shoulder.
Sorry, Han.
Alpha blinks slowly. His expression is even more deadpan, 1,000-yard stare than normal, and somehow it manages to convey perfectly the flesh equivalent of a computer 404 error. Then he slowly starts to step back. They watch as he wedges himself into a corner, folding in impossibly neatly into a little nook in the orbiter's walls. It's incredibly impressive to watch. Alpha is the tallest and overall biggest, not necessarily wide or dense, just tall, Tenno Judge has ever seen, and yet somehow he manages to fold himself up like paper into a very small space. He puts his hands in his face and mumbles out a very clear, very certain, very strong,
I don't like it.
Sorry to break it to you, I guess,
Sheik says, turning to Judge.
You have an observation window in your sleeping quarters. There's the entire navigation window. How do you do it? Arcwing! Arcwing!
It's different, Judge says. I put a bunch of stuff around the window to break it up, and I don't really hang around there.
Arcwing!
I'm moving very fast in between asteroids and ships. I don't actually see space.
She closes her eyes, shaking her head.
You are a disaster. A functional disaster, but a disaster. I love you.
Thank you.
All right, come on. Let's get the two of you below deck. I need to grill you two on your issues. Can't have all my surprises for you guys accidentally trigger bouts of panic and fear of the unknown. Good to know the Sublime isn't dead yet.
All right, and yep, that is it for today. Technically, we have 5 minutes left in the stream, but I'm not going to be able to read a whole chapter in 5 minutes, I don't think. Of course, it depends on how long the chapter is. Yeah, I'm not going to read this in 5 minutes. All right, well, cool beans. Oh, my background music ended. I don't know when that happened. Huh, I did not notice it go away. All right, let's cue up the music. All right, so Thank you everybody who showed up. Appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a nice time with the chapters of Seas You Could Sing So Deep and Strong, again by heartslogos, and you can find the link in the description below. Now that I've finally gotten around to putting it in there, it automatically pops up when I start the stream, which is very nice. Alright, I don't really have much news. There's a collab, not this upcoming week, but the week after. I already had the weekly collab for this week on Tuesday. Yeah, I will see you guys over on YouTube next Thursday, same time. And if you guys aren't over on YouTube, if you hang out over in my Twitch streams, I will see you on Saturday. We got, what do I got for Saturday? Well, there's Warframe, obviously. But there was something else that I was gonna play. Genshin's on Saturday, that's what it is. Because there's an event going on that apparently is very good, and I need to get the free guys from it. Partying face, yes, all the partying faces. Woo, woo, woo. Heck yeah. Well, yeah, thank you for stopping by, everybody. Hey there, bye there, Chris. Not hi there, you've already been here. Bye there, Chris. Oh, whoops, that ended. Play all. There we go. I didn't think I would need to push the play all button because I figured I'd just end the stream. Thank you for the awesome stream. No. Thank you for showing up to the stream. Glad that you could make it. It's always a pleasure having you guys. I hope that, I don't know, pleasure reading for you. And I hope that you guys also enjoy it. Alright, yeah, that was my news. That's all I have to say. I'm going to be live on Saturday over on Twitch. I'm going to be live here next week. And then in 2 weeks, we will finish the book. Yay! This is exciting. Alright. I will see you guys around. And hey, remember, if you're ever sad that you can't kill anybody IRL, just know you can always kill them with kindness. Have a good everyone. Bye-bye. No, you infinity. Where's the button? Oh, that was awkward. I say, no you infinity, and then I'm still here. Alright, let's try it again. No you infinity! Okay, bye.